What's going on in the chat? What's going on, everyone that is here listening? Um, just want to test the audio. I can hear myself. All right, we're good. So, see, we only got a few people in the chat. Let me just give a quick shout out to Osaka Fury, who says he won't get any shine versus Loma. I'm assuming you're talking about Shakur Stevenson. Well, we'll see. And we got Jason Bourne. Salute, Jason Bourne. So yeah, um, we're gonna talk about the fight. Well, I'll give you my opinion about the fight on Saturday night with Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring. It was one of those, I guess, breakthrough fights for Stevenson. He definitely looked sharp in that fight. A lot of people said that they've never really seen him fight that way. I have to admit that there's not that many fights that I've seen of his, Shakur Stevenson. This was one of maybe two or three I think I've seen. Um, the Nakatali fight, I think that's his name. Um, and I think I saw Joet Diaz fight. I believe that's his last name. The guy that fought Navarrete the week before, and this fight. So sometimes he looks like he can fight like that in spots versus other guys. What he did with Herring. Salute to official. What's up, my brother? Sometimes in spots it looks like he can fight that way, but I think that well, in this fight, he he was able to do it easier because of Jamel Herring's style of fighting. He was very intimidated. Looked that way to me. You know, it looked like Shakur Stevenson intimidated him pretty early, somewhere around the first 3 rounds. I started thinking to myself, if he continues to fight this way, I don't even think he can go the distance. I think he gets stopped. Salute to Black Lomachenko. Salute, salute. I agree. Triple J. Salute to you. And so I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I think that the reason Shakur Stevenson was able to be as successful against Herring and the way he fought in that more friendlier style of fighting was because Herring was afraid. I think he got intimidated in the first 3 rounds, and I remember thinking that he'll get stopped if this fight doesn't change, if he doesn't do anything to change it. He started to pull back on punches, which is never a good idea. Never show your opponent that. Um, that's a sign of intimidation, and I think that yeah, he started to show all those signs, and I thought he fought in spots where he came forward through some uppercuts, but he did it in spots. He didn't do that throughout the fight or most of the fight, which I think would have helped him. It would have gave him a little bit more rhythm on that and able to time Shakur Stevenson. But it's a great performance on his part. I think Jamel Herring was a willing participant in that fight. In other words, enhancing Stevenson's performance. A lot of people get a little too ahead of themselves when they see a performance like that, and they just automatically assume this is going to happen from here on out. Not saying that it can't, but you just look at the way Herring fought, and you tell me, what else would you expect from a fighter who has fast reflexes? He's able to stay in the pocket, weave punches from Herring the way they were coming, catch him with combination shots, just able to stay right there for the most part of the fight. Only back up maybe if he needed to. And maybe that was just to get some wind and just come back at it. Again, there was nothing that Herring presented of a threat outside of a few moments. And I think that when Herring did fight in spots, when he did use his jab to try to come in, and then when Shakur would duck in and throw the uppercut, he looked pretty decent doing that. But he wasn't. It wasn't in his game plan. It wasn't in the game plan, or at least Shakur Stevenson took that away from him. And so yeah. Of course, we would love to see him fight this way, and it seems like it's a far gone conclusion that he would beat everybody at 130, and maybe that's true. But we would like to see those fights before before we crown him, the king of 130 pounds. There are some good fights there. I think Valdez does pose a decent fight. I think the guy Valdez just fought, who I thought won the fight, and most of y'all did as well. I think he would be a good opponent. Conceição, whatever the fuck his name is, man. Conceição, Conseco, Jose Conseco, that guy. I think that these guys, if they are not intimidated and shortening up their punches and being too passive, I think they can give Shakur Stevenson a lot of trouble. So, I hold my judgment of whether or not he is the best fighter in the game at 130. First of all, he's pretty big at that weight class. I thought he was, at least body-wise, at least as big as Herring. He's a tough kid. He's a tough little street kid. He's got the right mindset, that dog mentality. But let's see when he's not able to intimidate a fighter in the first 3 rounds, and the guy's punching back like a guy like Valdez, I believe, would do. The other guy, Conceição, him, and Conseco, man, Conseco. Okay, fuck it, Conseco. Fucking these Portuguese last names, man. I don't understand them sometimes. But yeah, I think these fighters could give him a problem, and not to say that Shakur can't beat them. I would probably give him the edge over those guys. Herring was too submissive, too nice. Uh, he literally handed him his belt, handed Shakur Stevenson the belt. They were too friendly with each other, having little private meetings in hotels before the fight, like just weird shit. Maybe he just didn't feel confident going into the ring that he could beat Shakur Stevenson, and that's why he fought the way he did. Anyway, I see that we got a few people in the chat, so I'm gonna drop the link so you guys could jump in. As you guys know, I can't talk forever by myself. Start feeling weird. So if you guys want to join, give your comments, your opinions about this fight or anything else, and feel free to jump in. And also, he'll be 135-pounder easily. So he can also always move up there. Maybe he fights Valdez, beats him, and if he doesn't want to stick around after that, maybe, move up in weight. Because he's just as big as a lot of those lightweights are. So he won't have a problem when it comes to size. What's up, Brandon?
How's it going?
right, man. Thanks for
Oh,
stopping by.
what time is it in New York City? Like around
Well,
12
I'm on the
or
East
like
Coast.
almost? Yeah, that's like around 1 or so, correct?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes, 10, 12:48
Oh,
midnight.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here in California it's like 3 hours
Oh, that's right.
behind. So like,
You moved to California, right? That was the
no,
deal.
I've been in California throughout my entire life.
Okay, gotcha. So, what do you thought about the fight, Brandon?
I personally thought that that Shakur had his moments. He had a great day on Saturday night. I don't know if it's me. I don't know. I guess Shakur. I guess Jamal Herring had a off night. Like I don't know, but as I've said before, I don't want to make. I want to give Shakur all the credit that he deserves because he um he showed up and he came to win and I said that if Shakur beats him convincingly, like no robberies and whatever, I will give Shakur all the credit that he deserves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he looked really good last night, man. Saturday night, excuse me.
Yeah,
He looked extremely good. I think that Herring was the perfect fighter for him to showcase that. Obviously he was
yeah,
willing to do that too. He was obviously willing
hmm
to stand there. He had excellent defense in the pocket, man. I saw him weaving a lot of punches. But I also thought, man, that Herring was intimidated, man. He looked a little afraid, pulling his punches. When I started seeing him pulling his punches back, I was like, that's not a good sign, bro. You don't do that to a young fighter who's trying to knock your head off, man. You'd be better off not even throwing at all and trying to fucking circle around him until you feel comfortable
yeah,
throwing a punch.
yeah. Yeah. Um,
So
but I was
Pink Panther is asking, is that Karl Marx? And I'm like, yes,
no,
that is
it's your
Karl Marx.
mama. No, it's your mama. Uh,
What's wrong with Karl
but
Marx,
like
man?
I'll
He was a philosopher, man.
exactly. I try to think. I try to think for myself when it comes for boxing. But yeah, and at the same time I was also watching the Braves versus the Dodgers and yeah, it wasn't I wanted the Dodgers to win, but I mean,
Yeah, I
it
know
is what it is.
you're obviously you're out there. I'm assuming by the LA area, right? So you
Yeah, like I was born and raised in LA, but I live in Northern California, like near where Black and Brown lives.
but who?
Oh, never mind. I was just gonna. I thought it's because I live in Northern California near Sacramento,
Okay.
but I still support the Dodgers. But yeah,
Yeah, no doubt,
I
man.
mean, was
I live in South Florida. I still root for the Yankees, man.
that's pretty good. You
Yeah.
live in Miami, right?
Close to it.
Ah, okay.
Not too far from there. Not too far. I'm not that
Yeah,
far. Like an hour away.
I I've heard good things about Florida. Like I like especially, but the cons is that Florida is super humid. It's like, and I'm not used
Yeah,
to the humid weather.
you got to get used to it. I'll tell you right now. Even my kids that are there now, I mean, they visited Florida a lot before we moved there full time because I got all my family, just about every single family members are out there, so they got to get used to it.
Yeah,
What's up, official? What's going on,
how's it
bro?
going?
Hey, what's up, Recognize? Hello, Brandon.
How's it
Hope
going?
you're right, guys.
What did you think about the fight, bro?
Oh, I'm going to disappoint you, Recognize.
Uh
I
oh.
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, don't worry.
So you won't be getting much out of me.
All right.
Yeah, the thing is my PC stopped working like a week ago, and so I'm waiting to buy a new one before that. I
Okay.
mean, I'm gonna catch it on my iPad tomorrow, something like that, but still haven't seen it.
All right, all right. What's up, L Dog?
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, L Dog? Was you super impressed? Did you see Mo Athletics? What is it? Mo Athletics? Mo.
Athletics.
Yeah, man. I feel that young brother Shakur, he more athletic, got more hand speeds, more footworks, and more defensive slick style. You hear me? But on a serious note, I think Shakur, he showed me he's legit, man. I think that's undeniable. Now, what I will say is people are acting like he destroyed fucking Tank Davis or Lomachenko, but he beat Jamal Herring, right? Jamal Herring to me is not that good of a fighter. Jamal Herring is like he's probably just a little bit worse than Masayoshi Nakatani. Like a little bit. I think if they fought at 135, Nakatani would stop him, but it would be a good fight. But I think like his level is like C plus. That's kind of Herring's level, C plus.
C plus.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
have
was
him
that
as
was.
B
Maybe
minus.
maybe B minus. Maybe
B
B minus
minus.
on his best day.
Hey,
Cause
and I was gonna say this
he was.
too. Shakur
Oh yeah, and I
Stevenson.
was just.
Oh, I
Go
got,
ahead.
got
Go
you.
ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say
Now, go.
Shakur
I'm
Stevenson.
sorry.
He he impressed me because his defense looked good, and he was hurting Jamal at the same time, which I liked. Right, that was good. I think Shakur beats about everybody at 130, 135. That's it's a different story. I'll say this: I think Shakur has the style to beat Tio. Like he has the style, but he's too small. But he has like the style in the sense where Tio doesn't like to fight guys that know how to use their distance and have a good jab, but he's too small. Like if Loma couldn't do it to Tio, I don't think Shakur does. But I don't know. I mean, Shakur does have like a bit of a bigger frame than Loma, but I would still pick Tio to beat Shakur. Basically, what I'm saying is, I think Shakur beats just about everybody at 130 because the competition there isn't that good. I
Right.
mean, it's decent, but it's not anything special. I think 135, that's where it gets a bit more interesting. And I think Shakur is going to move up soon because he does have a big frame.
Yeah. Yeah. He
I
looks
was
like a
just gonna.
big. Looks like a big
I
dude.
was I was just gonna say, in regards to Jamel Herring. I mean, Jamel Herring, he didn't look good against Okendo. Like he looked like he was gonna quit in that fight. I don't know if you saw the fight, but I personally saw that Jamel wanted a way out in that fight. He wasn't looking good. And then as for the win against Carl Frampton, I mean, let's be real. Carl Frampton wasn't is not a natural 130 pounder. He's a natural bantamweight, super bantamweight, and
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, and people are overrating his win. In all honesty, I mean, it
To
was a good win, but I mean, it's not a great win as people like to make it out to be.
to give some perspective, Carl Frampton has roughly the same dimensions as Chocolatito. I think he's an inch taller, but he has a 2-inch reach disadvantage. So he's about the same dimensions as Chocolatito, just a little bulkier.
Imagine
So
that.
that
Imagine
that
that.
and Herring is 5'10" with like a 72-inch reach.
He's
So
like
he's got
an
the
Herring
dimensions
is a natural light welterweight. In all honesty,
The thing
yeah.
about Jamel is just look at him. Like he looks weak, he looks frail. He doesn't look like a strong person. So I'm not surprised Shakur did that to him. Jamel doesn't strike me as a guy that's physically strong or opposing. And he still walked. I mean, in my opinion, I feel like in the middle rounds, he walked through Shakur's shots a bit to get in the inside. And I feel like if Shakur when he fights lightweights, he's not gonna have that privilege, of the power keeping them back. I feel like. As
I agree,
Shakur,
because this will be his third weight class, dude. His your
He's a big
power
guy
usually
too.
carries up one weight class, but
Not really three. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, this will be his third weight class, man. I mean, I'm sure he still has enough power to where you can't just fucking run at him and throw
No,
haymakers
of course not.
and
He'll
get
knock
clip
you out.
counters, but
He'll hurt you if you do
you
that.
can
Yeah.
you can be like, okay, man, I can get away with a lazy jab here or there, like and shit like that. But the thing with Jamel Herring that I saw was this dude really just isn't that good, man. I'm gonna be pretty blunt. He isn't that good. I get it. He's a good guy. He's got a cool story, but being a
He's a
Marine
Marine
and
and all that stuff.
overcoming
Yeah.
tragedy doesn't mean you're a good fighter. I mean, when Shakur
That's
would throw
true.
combinations, he would just leave his hands up and stay in one position. Any smart boxer knows. Like, just look at Usyk when he fought AJ, right? If he got hit once clean, what did he do? He moved and he reset the action. That's what you're supposed to do. You're either supposed to put your gloves up, use some waist movement to look for a counter, or put your gloves up and move away to reset the action. All he did was just stand there with his gloves up and take punishment.
I mean, you're right. He did. He fought like I said earlier. I think he fought very intimidated, like after 3 rounds. But I still give Shakur Stevenson that he understood that, and being that we didn't see
Yeah.
him fight like that before, it was kind of how you say um, impressive. For lack of a better word, right? Just impressive that he understood that and he did that because he really didn't do that in other fights before. I thought he could have, and he kind of like shied away from it. But what's up, Rebri? What did you think about the fight, Rebri?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Hey,
we having
Yeah.
so I mean,
microphone issues.
I'll
Go
say
ahead, Big
this.
Glass.
I
Um,
think Loma has the style
okay.
to beat Shakur because he keeps his head off the center line when he comes in, right, which is a good thing because it doesn't give anything for Shakur to jab and keep back, which is a plus. But
Hey,
I think Loma beats Shakur right now or in the near future. But just like how boxing works, I think they're gonna age out Loma like about 2 years, and then the 3 years, and then the fight will happen. And I think
That
Shakur wins because Loma is just old and he's not
that's
as fast
exactly
as
what
he.
I said. That's what I said
Yeah,
in
it's
the
Yep.
gonna
chat. Like, I think Loma will beat Kome. I honestly think they will make the Lopez rematch. I think Loma will beat Lopez, but I think by that stage, I think the Lopez fight will be tough for him. I think he'll win, but I then think Lopez will move up to 140. They'll get Shakur to fight him, and I think Shakur will ultimately beat him. Whether he deserves it or not, I think it'll be a fight that could go either way, because I think Lopez will soften Loma up. And I think if it's a fight that's 7-5 or 8-4, Shakur is definitely going to win, dude. There's just so much more money and upside in Shakur.
Do you see that fight happening like right away, or you see like that
Yeah,
that being a plan, like
I
like
see
Nice.
It's
this
the
being
Wait
plan.
till
kind of
wait.
this kind of the way things go. I think Loma will
you guys hear me?
destroy. I think yeah, we can hear you. I think he'll
Yes, we
destroy
can.
Kome. I
Okay.
think he'll fight Lopez, beat him either late stoppage or a tough decision, but it will be a grueling fight. And I think they make Shakur versus Loma right afterwards and catch him while he's soft and his body's
interesting?
still recovering, and I think he beats him.
So what's up, Rare Breed? What did you think of the fight
Um,
on
I
Saturday
was
night?
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting Shakur to be that aggressive, but I mean, I saw everything I needed to see. To be honest with you, I think he's the one. As they say, in Matrix, he's the one.
He's the one.
Um, yeah,
You
I
know,
think.
there were some people that I was talking to about him. Right? They're boxing fans, but they're like my age, so they don't really follow all these names.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
told them about Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah,
First thing they said, "Damn, that's a hell of a fucking name."
yeah, yeah.
Like
It's a
his name is Shakur, and last
yeah,
name's either yeah, that's a fucking
that's
hell of and when they saw the fight,
yeah,
because that being the first fight that they've seen of him,
yeah.
and I take these guys' opinions pretty I hold it to a pretty high standard.
Hmm.
They like what they saw, right? But then again, they said, look, we got to see what's around him to say he's going to be the best guy. And I thought that was the
Yeah.
appropriate response. And what I could say is this: a lot of these guys are not going to be like Herring,
Yes.
where they're intimidated by him. And he did that. He established that early in the fight,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
to the point where I thought he was even pulling back a lot of those punches, especially in those middle rounds where he would pull back. In the later rounds in spots, he fought back and he let his hands go.
Yeah.
But I think the damage was done.
I agree with that, but what I was impressed with, we know how good his defense is, but
Yeah, it was
offensively,
very good last night, Saturday
yeah,
night.
yeah. So he can beat you multiple ways. Like there's not a lot of young fighters that have that, many
Yeah,
dimensions in their game. So he's gonna be hard to beat. You're gonna need a special fighter to beat him,
yeah,
in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
I think
and
you
I was
need
gonna
the
say
right
too.
game plan. That's what
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
need.
and I was
I
gonna
don't
say
think
too.
I don't think
I don't
Bullingham is gonna
I
work.
don't see Shakur. I don't I don't see Shakur losing
Hmm.
anytime in the near future, and it'll be a mixture of matchmaking and the
Hmm.
dude. Look, I feel like when he fights top competition, he's gonna fight a certain style. People call it boring, but it's a style that it wins
Yeah.
fights, and also I
Yeah.
don't think anybody at 130 to 135 is a good pressure fighter. Like Loma, yes, but Loma's, I mean, he has like 3 or 2 years left, in my opinion. So besides him, nobody's a good pressure fighter. Around those weight classes,
That's
I
a good
can't.
point.
Maybe
Maybe
Exactly.
Tank.
Pitbull, Cruz,
Tank.
Tank. I like Tank, but I feel Shakur will pot shot him and pot shot him and be the quicker guy. And he has faster feet. I think it'll be a boring
Yeah.
fight. That's why I say I think when Shakur fights these dudes, he's gonna make it a boring fight like Mayweather did, but he's gonna get it done. He's gonna get the wins.
Yeah.
Like I said,
What
and I
about?
said this before the Herring fight,
Yeah.
there's two fighters that can really beat Shakur. And I think Lopez could beat him, but Lopez pretty much has a puncher's chance, and he's not going to fight him. But I think Loma and Tank provide the most difficult fights because they're both guys who
Yep.
have good footwork,
Yeah,
are fast, are southpaws, both have power,
yeah,
and both are pretty educated with breaking a guy down. They know to
And
go to the body, they know
yep.
those things. But again, Loma, his time is running out, man. I
Yeah.
think he can either beat Lopez or Shakur, but he can't beat both. Because I think by
right.
the time he
By the
beats
time that
both,
happens, yeah, he's gonna be.
he's
His
softened.
window is 2 years.
And his
Like,
body,
Yeah.
yeah,
his body's breaking down too. It looks like
yes, you're right
all these
about that.
injuries. Yeah.
It is breaking down. Yep. And
Injuries.
so the one that I really look at are Tank Davis. I'm talking about long term. I'm not talking about
Hmm.
like right now. Just long term. Tank Davis, uh, Devin Haney, and
Yep.
Tiafimo, depending like where he's at. But I again, L Dog is right. When it comes to boxing skills, I think when it comes to Tiafimo, I know a lot of people get mad when I say this, but it's like it's really just a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Like
just looking for the counter punch. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. If Loma wasn't injured, he would have beat Tio, man. I don't care what
He was.
anyone says. He would
You
Yeah.
have
saw
beat
his
him,
face.
man. Because that fight was close enough when he was injured.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, I say this between the Teal and Loma thing. I think if Teal and Loma were the same size, Loma beats the shit out of him, right? But since Teal's so much bigger,
Yep.
Teal's power, halos Teal's skill set. You know what I'm saying? Because those
Could be.
uppercuts,
Yeah.
yeah, like honestly, those uppercuts. I mean, he's off balance, but he's just so big and stronger. It still has that power effect on Loma, who's very smaller than Teal. So if they're the
Yep.
same size, Loma would walk through that uppercut because that uppercut has would have no power if Loma was fighting a guy that was the same size as him. But that's not the case. So Tio can throw punches like that because he's just so much stronger, such more powerful than Loma. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Loma's, I think Tio had about 20, 15 pounds of Loma on the night. You know,
It looked
and
that way. It really did. It did look
it
that way.
did.
I know some people
You know,
disagree, but it's like, damn, look at fucking and look at Tiafimo in that ring, and he looks
and
like he's getting bigger too.
And
You
look,
know.
and I'll bring this example up too about the differences between guys who move up weight classes. Now, do this on your free time. Look at Mikey Garcia at 126, then look at Mikey at 135, right? And you'll see a big difference in his frame, his body fat
Yep.
percentage, right? You see a big difference. But look at
Yep.
Loma at 126 to 135.
Same
There's
shit.
not that,
He
yeah,
was
there's not
the same,
there's not much of a
exactly.
difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So
He
I
didn't
mean,
get
there's like
bigger.
a tad bit there's a tad bit of a difference, like a tiny bit more muscle, but overall to the naked eye, it's the same thing. So Loma is a very small guy, like fighting at 135 against Seal. Anybody that knows boxing knows Loma is a way better pure boxer than Seal. And if they're the same weight class, Loma stops him, but that's not the case. That's why I think, man, I'm gonna be honest, I just can't see Loma beating Seal because they don't belong in the same weight class. That's just my take.
Maybe
I
you're
think
right, man. That fight
I
was
think
super close. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead, Bria Bree. You go.
yeah. I have a lot of respect for Loma because, like you guys just said, he's definitely not a pure 135 pounder. You could actually see signs of the upset coming. Well, even though if you watch Loma versus Campbell and what's his name, Pedraza,
Uh-huh.
he was struggling a little bit with those guys. Like if all things are equal, he gets rid of those guys easy. But I think their size were giving him a little bit of trouble, in my
That's
opinion.
true. Even though I thought he was dominating most of the
Yeah,
rounds against Campbell,
yeah,
Campbell seemed like when he touched him,
yeah.
Loma was like, "Damn, this dude!" Like, it was a sign of a guy who's
Reach his
naturally
limit.
bigger than you. Yeah, he's naturally
Yeah,
bigger than you.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I
why I
think
think Loma's best chance to beat Shakur is at 130.
yeah,
I think
uh
135 only helps Shakur because he
probably,
can make the
yeah.
weight easier. Like I think officials are asleep.
Official, are you sleeping, official?
Are you asleep?
I want to
man.
mute him just for now. He could unmute himself when
But
he.
yeah, I think look, if here's the ideal situation in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Lopez beats Cambosis, vacates. Loma Comey is made for the vacant WBO, and once Loma wins that, he goes back down, fights Valdez, and then unifies with Shakur. I think he could win all three of those fights in a row. But if he fights Lopez and then Shakur, I think he beats Lopez but loses to Shakur. Because I just
That
think like it depends on.
that's you too
I
many
I
back right.
honestly don't. I don't
Too many
think
big guys.
Kobe
Yeah.
and Valdez would punish him a lot. I think he beats the fuck out of Valdez, man. Like he would stop him six
Yeah,
through eight. Like that
I
would not be a competitive fight at
I'm
all.
just I'm just gonna say that like if Oscar and Shakur fight, Oscar will look clean as a whistle, and Shakur, yeah, Shakur, he's. I'm not making any accusations, but I personally think that they're gonna allow him to juice.
Well,
allow
Man, I
listen,
allow
just
who
think
to
they're
he'll beat
juice.
the
gonna
fuck out of
But I
Valdez,
still
man.
think that he's gonna beat him regardless. Yeah,
look.
that's the point.
The name of the game is all about. I understand there's politics, and the
Mhm.
politics will play the whichever way it goes. There might be some bullshit, right? But I
Yeah,
think that if it's all fair, I think Valdez gives him problems but loses. I think for sure he'll give him problems. I don't think he'll get intimidated. He'll have a shot to win, right? I think he'll have a shot to win. The whole Valdez thing, what happened with him,
hmm
um, that's just a product of his gym, man. You know, that's all that is, man. And
yeah,
who knows what's really going on there? But it's just something that's been going on in that gym a lot for a long time now. And I'm not saying it's the only gym, but they're the ones that are getting caught, right? So
yeah. Honestly, I disagree. I think Shakur takes care of him easily. Navarrete, that's a different story. I think that guy give him more of a challenge.
Navarrete looks like he can gain weight easily.
Navarrete is awkward. He's an awkward fighter,
Yo, he could. He
Exactly.
looks like he could go
but he
to
can box.
135. He
That's
looks
the
like a
good thing.
lightweight.
I
When I
think
see him,
that
he looks like a lightweight. I don't know about you
yeah,
guys, but
He looks
that
like a
would be
light
like
welterweight.
He does. That would be like a Maidana Mayweather type of fight, the first one, or awkward guy,
Wait,
rough you
Navarrete?
up. Yeah.
Navarrete,
Navarrete, you
yeah.
talking about? Nah, no,
Yep.
look, I'll say this: Navarrete does his best against fighters that fight long because it gives Navarrete his distance to land the punches he likes to land, which is like looping
Yeah.
uppercuts, crazy straight rights. Right? Navarrete looks
Yeah.
bad when you smother his punches. When Shakur's a long fighter. That's the only hope I give Navarrete. But honestly, I disagree with y'all though. Like I don't think Navarrete is a big guy. Like I think he's kind of smart. That's just my opinion. I mean, I know he's tall, he's
He has a
long, but to
longer
me, I
reach
think he's
though.
small.
Like he has I mean,
No, but like I'm talking about like his bones, like you can usually tell the guy's big by his bones, and if he has
Yeah.
muscle mass, like to me, Navarrete is like similar to Brandon Figueroa. Like they're both tall and skinny, but I mean they have small frames and they have like small bones. They don't have very big, thick bones like Shakur or Tio.
Yeah. True. Also, he might be a little bit too slow for Shakur too. I don't know, but
Who's that Navarrete?
yeah. I mean, he's a volume puncher, but he's not like exactly quick. You know. I don't know. We'll see.
Fucking the way he was fucking two piecing Herring, it was like, God damn, Herring, what the fuck he do?
Right. It just
Like, dude, you keep
that
letting
high
that happen.
guard.
He's gonna stop you, bro.
You're just cutting
He's
through that
going
high
right through
guard
that
and
high
just
guard. Yeah, yep.
right.
He made it.
No, we'll see.
He made easy work of Herring. That was
Yeah.
easy.
But yeah, you guys were right. He's not gonna fight everybody like that. Like if he goes up against Tank, he's definitely not fighting Tank like that. That'd be foolish.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck no, he gets knocked out if he fights Tank. If he
He'll
if
get
he
hurt.
fights if he
He'll
fights
get hurt.
Loma like that, he gets knocked out because I think Loma and Tank both have quite a bit of power for someone like Shakur, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
One thing
different
about
styles of fights too, right? Like Herring doesn't fight. He doesn't have the same stance as Lomachenko or Tank. He kind of
yeah,
comes in with a different game plan. Now those guys, if Shakur stands there, they're gonna have their best opportunities to land their big punches.
yep, yep,
So it works both ways. Yep. They'll have Shakur will have his chance too. Don't
yep,
get it twisted. He proved that. But at the same time, they're gonna have their chance, and then that fight could go either way because it's all about who lands. You don't want to fuck around with Tank where he
yeah,
could land a big fucking shot and knock you out, or you don't want to do that with Lomachenko, who can fucking do that shit in different angles, attack you from different angles.
okay,
The key to beating Shakur is going to be to employ a Canelo tactic, and that's to actually target the arm. If you look at Shakur, his form of defense is he leans back, but he leaves his feet in one place because he's looking for the counter.
Yeah.
The best way you could beat him is to throw a jab. Like if you're a southpaw, this is throw a jab. He'll lean back, throw a straight left as hard as you can right to the bicep, kind of like how Canelo was throwing that hook to the bicep to swell up the bicep of Smith. Throw that left hand as hard as you can to his bicep, and then stick a jab out there so when he goes for the counter, you catch him, and then get out of the pocket. That's how you beat him. You need to take that right arm out of the equation because he keeps his liver pretty well protected with his right arm.
Good point, man. It's a Doughboy. Yeah, man. I mean,
I thought you said Del Boy. I kind of heard you said Del Boy, but go ahead.
No, I knew that's Doughboy. I know that's not Del. Yeah, I wish all these guys could fight each other, man. I think boxing could be it could be just as good as, how people say the glory days if these guys fought each other.
Fought
I'm
each
not
other.
saying
40,
fight
maybe
right now,
47. He's a
but
big dude.
who's that?
yeah.
Yeah,
What was
can you
that?
imagine?
I
Can
couldn't.
y'all hear me?
I couldn't. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
It's a lot
Yep.
of it's a lot of
Yep.
good fighters coming out of America, no doubt. Young talents.
Yeah.
We got
I
plenty
like
of young
Virgil,
talents.
Shakur, and Lopez.
We
I
got
mean,
plenty of
obviously Tank. Those are my
Nope.
four kings.
we
But I
got
think
Lopez.
Ennis can be up there as well. Ennis just
Yeah.
got to show me something in a big fight, and I think he will. I think he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
I
Lopez.
I'm just
Go.
gonna say, like, we got plenty of good talents coming out from the 2020 Olympics too. Like, so along with what we have right now, I mean,
Keyshawn
Keyshawn,
Davis.
for example, also
Yep.
Duke Reagan.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, we got plenty of talents coming from the Olympics. So yeah, it's pretty prosperous, but we just it's the job of the promoters to put them in good fights that the
Oh yeah.
fans want to see.
People. There's one more guy people forget. Chris Colbert.
He's good
He.
too. He's
Yeah,
good
He's.
he's
too,
good.
but
He's
I'm
good.
gonna be honest,
Uh-huh.
his power isn't all there.
Yeah. But everything else is solid.
He
Like.
got
Yep.
touched up by Nayam Bayar. He got touched up, and I thought,
Nyambaya is a good boxer though, man.
yeah, he's a
People
good
forget
boxer.
that. Nyambaya,
That's
Olympic
true.
silver medalist, and he
Yeah.
gave Gary Russell some good rounds in that fight. And I think Gary Russell Jr. was a pound for pound talent, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he
his
has the talent.
career just wasn't handled right, man.
I
Well,
was gonna
it's
beat
because
his
of
ass.
him too. It's really
I think it's
because of
because of himself too.
yeah. He
No, I
likes
think it's
fighting.
because of I think it's honestly because of Al Heyman and
His
Barbershop
brother.
Conversations makes a lot of great points. Like I don't really fuck with Fred or Barbershop, but he makes a lot of great points about Gary Russell and his career, dude. Al Heyman has kind of fucked him over, I think, because Gary Russell a long time ago called out Floyd Mayweather, and he called out Tank and a lot of that shit, and I think he pissed off the wrong people, but
Yeah, probably.
basically Russell was going to fight Chris Colbert for the vacant WBA title
Uh-huh.
at 130, and I think he would have beat Colbert to be honest, because
I
they're
won't
Uh-huh.
be
roughly the
surprised
same
if
size.
Maxayo beats Gary Russell, who hasn't fought in like almost 2 years. Gary Russell.
Hey, you
That's the
guys.
thing, man.
That's true.
But even so, Gary Russell's beat some good fighters. He beat Johnny Gonzalez. He beat
Yep.
Jojo
Jojo
Diaz,
Diaz.
Yes, but he
Niambaya,
was better at
Nico
126.
Martinez. So he
JoJo
beat
was
some.
actually better at 126. He was actually
Yeah.
better.
He
Yep.
beat some damn good fighters, man. It's just
Loma was
PBC
a
for
But he should
whatever
have fought
reason.
Santa Cruz. He should have
I mean,
fought
when he
Yeah,
Santa
lost to
Cruz.
Loma, okay, he got outboxed. He
he
got a
got his
little bit
ass whooped.
He got
dominated.
out.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got
he got
120.
dominated. But
He got
he was
120.
never stopped fighting though. Guy kept
No.
fighting.
that's the thing. Like Loma is stopping and crushing dudes at 130,
Yeah,
right?
he kept
He
fighting.
stopped at 135. Sorry, he stopped Linares. He stopped Crawler. He stopped Nakatani, who are way bigger than fucking
Gary
Gary
Russell.
Russell. But
Yep.
Gary Russell managed to hang in there, and Gary Russell, like again,
Never
he
stopped
went
letting
on
his
to
hands go. He
he
No.
never
beat
did.
Johnny Gonzalez, who just knocked out Abner Mares in like the
Yeah.
first round or something,
Knocked him out in the
and who
first
was
round.
like a multi-division champion. And then he beat Jojo Diaz when Diaz was undefeated.
Uh-huh.
Like Gary Russell is a damn good fighter. It's just PBC is for whatever reason they didn't fucking do the right thing, man.
His
Yeah,
brother.
I mean,
His
it's not
brother.
just Gary Russell who the PBC mismanaged. It's also they also mismanaged. I watched Del Boy's video one day, and he was talking about Quillen. He was talking about
Peter
how
Quillen.
Quillen, yeah, Quillen was mismanaged by the PBC. Like the PBC told Quillen to duck Korobov, eh, to duck his mandatory, which I mean that is the biggest duck. In all honesty, that is a biggest duck. And what did he got out of it? He fought he was fighting for a fake WBA title. I mean, but he was getting a payday against Danny Jacobs, but it was a fake WBA title. I don't know if you watched Del Boy's video, but it shows how the PBC mismanage fighters. Like they don't care about fighters' legacy; they care about um, filling, getting their pockets. They care about getting their pockets full.
Gary Russell was very vocal about the Tank fight, man. It makes me think now because he was actually saying, so he's the literal guy who would have to go
Mhm.
up to Tank. He was so vocal about that. They're both from the DMV area, which makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. You could have that fight in like
In
uh,
DC.
in DC, right? Exactly, because a lot of guys from Baltimore will show up. A lot of guys from Maryland and DC will obviously
Or
be there.
Virginia too. Virginia too.
Virginia, yep, Virginia. So all these guys, it makes a lot of sense that the fight would have to
Yeah.
make that fight, but for whatever reason, and I give Tank a very good chance of winning that fight. So I can't say, oh, they're scared of Gary Russell, therefore
Yeah.
they don't want to make the fight. I think he was blackballed. Yeah, he said some things, and they said
Yep.
this is our way of saying fuck you.
Gary
He
Russell
is.
Jr. went against the PBC Golden Boy, Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis. That's kind of what happened to his career. I mean, if we think about it, he Gary Russell Jr. after he beat Nyambaya, he should have gotten the Leo Santa Cruz fight. I mean, this dude went out there and punked your sick fucking dad. He went out there and punked him, disrespected your father. If that's me, dude, I'm fighting you for free, man. I don't give a fuck about the money,
I'm
right?
finding you on Epstein Island for all I
Exactly.
Yeah,
care.
like here's the thing, like if I'm there, I'm fighting you, but if not, okay, I'm taking whatever money. Now the money was going to be good, so I'm fucking fighting you, but instead,
I
Leo
I
being
think,
the
Leo Santa
bitch
Cruz
he
is a
is,
coward.
fucking ducked him, dude. He's a coward.
but
He's a bitch.
how much of that was just um the PBC saying you're not fighting him, whether you want to fight him or not.
Yeah, that's what I think
You
it
know what I'm
was.
saying?
I think it was the PBC saying, no, 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 you're going to fight Tank and you're going to make a lot more money. And,
Right.
after you beat Tank, like, they probably lied to him. They're like, hey, after you beat Tank, they're all going to say,
Exactly.
wow,
They
what a
gassed
great
him up.
fighter you are. And Leo's dumbass was like, oh, yeah, I can beat
I could
Tank.
beat
Like,
Tank. You
I'm going to make
serious?
that fight.
Are you serious? I
Anyone
could
with a
really beat him.
fucking brain could tell Tank was going to destroy Leo Santa Cruz.
Dude, the way he knocked him out is still like I could still see it in my head, bro.
That was
No,
like a week
brutal.
from last weekend. I remember I had like a long bet. I had a bet on Usyk beating Chisora by points. I had a bet on Inoue mid round, and I had a bet on Tank mid round. It made me a lot of fucking money, man. But dude, Leo Santa Cruz, that's one guy I just cannot fucking stand.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice guy, so, but it is what
He
it is.
is a nice guy, but dude, I cannot respect him for ducking Gary Russell Jr. Like,
Yeah.
Gary Russell Jr. disrespected your sick father, and you do nothing about it.
What did he do
Right.
again? I forget. What did he do
He ran
again?
up to his father, and he literally said, he filmed it. He said, "I could put hands on your father right now."
Oh shit!
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, dude,
Why aren't you slapping the
Listen,
shit out of Gary
yeah,
something.
Russell and
why
Leo?
aren't you signing to fight him and fighting to fucking kill him?
I
Yeah.
wonder if Gary Russell did that to like fuck with Leo and the PBC. Like in other words, come on, man, you got to make the fight now. I just
Yeah.
fucking disrespected his dad. You know.
Right.
But Gary Russell Jr. was a good fighter, man. Gary Russell, whatever
We
it
talk about,
is, the PBC, they have an issue with him, and his brothers are talented, man. His
he's a
brothers are
beast.
very talented.
What is it?
Gary
One of them is
Antoine?
Antoine. Yeah, Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine is talented.
He beat
Yeah,
Antoine,
he came out of the Rio Olympics.
he beat
he
Ennis.
he beat Ennis twice. I think they
Yep.
fought they fought 3 times. He beat him twice.
I gotta check
And
that out. I
yeah,
gotta definitely check that out now that you said that.
his last fight, he beat the shit out of the dude who went like 12 with Broner. Like
Oh yeah,
just
I
Yeah,
remember that.
Santiago.
Oh,
And it was
Santiago.
during the Donaire undercard.
yeah, he's not like his brother. He's like a well, I wouldn't
Well, well,
consider Gary like a slick fighter, but his brother Antoine is like a pressure, take you apart,
yeah.
Terminator type of guy.
He got that hand speed too.
Yeah, strong dude. He fights at 140.
be a nice fight with him and what's the Puerto Rican kid, the black Puerto Rican kid,
Oh,
Matthias?
Matthias.
Matias.
I
Yeah,
think
Mhm.
Matthias is one of my favorites, man.
that dude is a
Yeah,
Matthias,
fucking
Matthias,
monster.
he's a killer. He
Yeah.
has that aura. I think
literally.
he's like a Puerto Rican bolero, pretty much.
Yeah.
He
And we
has
got
that
someone
aura.
backstage apparently recognized.
Yeah, I don't know, some guy named Muh. I don't know. I
It's
don't know
El
who this
Jefe.
is.
Ah, hell no. But I
Yeah.
Muh.
was just gonna say, do you see
MUH.
some?
Let me see if I got a
I
band.
was just gonna say, do you see any similarities
Go ahead,
between
Muh.
Matthias and Bolero?
How you doing,
My
Muh?
dick, nigga.
This is El Jefe, man.
Ah, it's unfair.
Yo, what's
But
going
yeah,
on,
I'm
bro?
telling you, like Matthias, he might be the savior, man. He might be the savior of boxing in the sense that he
Of Puerto
beats the
Rican
four
boxing.
queens. No, he might beat all of the four queens. If Lopez, like if
Well,
Haney
we're talking
moves
about
up to
Puerto Ricans.
140, I think Subriel Matias knocks him out.
Yeah.
Yep,
We're
Matthias is
talking
a
about
killer.
Matias is
Matias.
not gonna give a fuck about his power, and he's just gonna walk right through him and punch him.
It looks like Matthias, he has some like bricks under his arms. Like I'm not saying he has bricks under his arms, but like his power, like it's just yeah. He it looks like he touches you and boom, you're already hurt.
Yeah.
He's a special fighter, man. He's got great stamina, a decent chin.
Ah, you gotta chill, bro. Special fighter. He's a good, solid pressure fighter, bro. He will be broken. Like the dude has taken a lot of punishment lately, so I don't think he's as good as people make it out to seem. He will give people tough fights, but
He's
that's about it.
dangerous.
He's a
Yeah, but
dangerous dude
he
because
will beat him.
he's got good
Haney,
stamina and good power. He's there to fucking
Haney and
knock
him
you out,
would
but he
be a
could get
great
beat.
fight.
He can get
You
beat.
think Haney can outbox him? I think Matias will walk right through him.
I would love to see that shit. Bro.
That would be a great fight because it would be like a can Haney survive or can Matias knock him out?
Yeah, there you go.
If
What's up,
Matias hurts
Scalebender?
him, the thing about Matias is
What
he's
up?
not old. He's not old like Linares. He will go forward. He will fucking hurt you with little shots. He will
Mhm.
fight rough. He will
Hey,
do
bro.
everything.
Why does
But
Pete?
L Dog.
Why does Pete have a braces as Abby, bro?
Yeah. But you guys gotta remember, Haney was trying to,
What's wrong with that?
he was trying to walk down Linares, so I don't think it's gonna
Balloon
be.
lips.
Yeah. He won't
And
do
I'll
that
tell you
again.
this for sure: Matias would beat the fuck out of Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
Yes,
he chins
I
you.
don't know
yes.
about
If
that.
You
if
knock him
if
out.
Campbell was able to knock him down in the second, I mean, look what imagine how
Different
would
style
Matias would do.
matchup. You can't do the
It's a
time
bad
period.
style matchup for Ryan. It is a bad style
No,
matchup,
but
and he's gonna get knocked out.
can Matthias take his left hook? That's another
Yes,
question.
yes.
Yes, he
Yeah,
can.
like if you look at his last guy, Djokombaev killed a guy in the amateurs with like a one punch knockout. He
Amateur.
he no, but that's even
Well,
more
amateur.
impressive. If you kill someone in
Yeah,
the amateurs, that's
do the
more
headgear.
impressive.
Yeah, you
That's
got
more
headgear,
yeah,
bigger gloves.
dude, you hit someone with heavy gloves, big fucking headgear,
That's why
and
that
you still
knockout
killed
L
them.
Dog. You ever see that knockout L Dog of Triple G Boutte?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I saw
Dude,
that
that
fight
was
on. I
vicious,
saw it on
bro. He
Saturday.
iced him. He iced
With
him with those big
Knocked
headgear
him
gloves.
out
and the heavy
cold.
gloves.
And soft wraps too. You
Yep.
don't have pro wraps. Hey, but who's the guy that the guy you're just talking about? I can't say his name right now.
Matthias.
Matias.
Yeah,
Matthias?
that guy. Yeah, that guy. Who's the guy he beat? He's good too. He's fucking
He
tough
beat
Chocobo.
too.
Chukenbaev, and he beat I forgot the Russian name that he passed away.
He killed
Dadashev,
Maxim.
Dadashev,
All right, here's the
Dadashev.
thing. Like, I'll give you a breakdown of Matthias kind of last 2 years. He killed Dadashev, who was an undefeated prospect. He then goes on to like KO some guy I've never heard of. He loses to Petros Anian. Now that was a fight where, to be honest, I think
Matthias wasn't
Matthias.
there. He
Yeah, I
wasn't
think he
mentally
wasn't
there.
there. I honestly think the killing of Dadashev kind of got to him. And if you look at the Malik Hawkins fight, Malik Hawkins was an undefeated prospect. signed to Mayweather Promotions. He trained with Tank, and he was heralded to be like a great fighter. If you look at that fight, Matias starts off pretty bad, but throughout that fight, he slowly gains his confidence as he breaks this guy down. And then in the Jukumbayev fight, which was his last fight, he gets all his confidence back and he just destroys this guy.
I'm glad the referee stopped Jukenbaev. Like I was scared that because he was hitting him, he was hitting Jukenbaev. So he was hitting him.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Jukenbaev fought him. Like Jukenbaev fought him stupidly, bro. Like he didn't use those supposed boxing skills he had. The dude was trying to duke it out with him, bro, and that wasn't gonna work.
Those guys are 130 or 135.
40.
no,
Who are those?
140.
Nice.
You know who I want to see Matias against, bro? Since he's with the PBC, Gary Antoine Russell. I think it's
Hell yeah,
a
Antoine.
great fight.
beast.
That's what we were talking about before you're here.
Or what about against Aguilar? I think that's a good fight too.
Yep.
Another great fight. 140 is about to be stacked, bro. In the next couple months, bro. You got the four queens moving up soon. Then you got Russell there. You got a couple top ranked fighters there like Barbosa and some other dudes. So it's gonna be a good division.
Who beat Barbosa? I forgot who beat him.
Nobody, bro. He's undefeated.
Oh, Barbosa beat somebody. Then
He beat Pedraza, I think.
yeah, that's who it was. I saw that fight. It was all right. It was actually pretty good.
And then the thing is that at 140, these dudes will fight each other. It's not like they're asking for too much money, bro. Or being
Let's
big.
face it. We know that Josh Taylor's moving up. That's 100%. He's gonna move up after this fight.
Yeah.
He's too big. I'm telling you guys, the injury from Josh Taylor was fake as fuck. Look at his Instagram story today. He said he's got a knee injury, and well, that's what Top Rank said. Top Rank said
He needs
Josh
more
Taylor.
time to make weight.
Yeah, they said Josh Taylor injured his knee, but today on his fucking Instagram story, he's posting pictures doing and videos doing squats. Fucking
Hey,
Yeah,
squats.
sure he did.
Like this dude,
quick
if
recovery.
you look at his Instagram, he got fat after he beat Taylor. He was drinking a lot. He was, partying, doing what he should be doing, to be honest. But he was just a bit out of shape, and he needed more time to make weight.
Is Josh Taylor a gypsy too, bro?
No,
No,
Is he what?
but he just
A
likes to
gypsy.
party a bit.
no, he's not a gypsy.
Like that's always
He's,
been the
he's
thing
pulling a
with Taylor.
Duran. He's pulling a Duran after that Sugar Ray fight.
Yeah, he likes to drink.
But then again,
and
he's
he likes to
5'11",
eat.
bro. He's almost 6 feet tall. He's 5'11", 5'10", something like that.
He'll be
But,
better
but,
at
but,
140
but when was he scheduled to? When was he scheduled to fight?
December.
This month.
December, and it
Oh,
got
yeah.
And he,
delayed to
and he, and he
February.
did. He pulled out now. He's off weight. You think he's that far off weight? What is he fucking
Yeah, I
200?
think if you look at him, like even his training clips, you can tell there's a lot of fat. So I think Top Rank will like, listen, dude, delay the fight, lose the weight naturally, and you'll beat him, and then you can move up to 47.
Why not just move up, bro? Fuck this dude he's fighting. He's a bomb.
It was a contract agreement, like he
It's a
has to
mandatory.
fight him. No, because Catterall was his mandatory before the Ramirez fight, and in the contract it was the winner has to fight this guy.
All right. Yep.
I'd lose it on the
This is
scale.
what pisses me off about fucking Eddie Hearn. Why don't Eddie Hearn just like fucking step aside? He's always talking about all people blocking Undisputed. He does the same thing too.
Yeah, you're blocking Usyk versus Fury for Undisputed, you motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, and also why? And if you're gonna have the rematch, why not? Why not do it in Ukraine where Usyk he's the champion. He's the one
Not
who
enough
has the
money.
belts.
Not
He
enough
has
money.
he has the titles though.
What do you mean? So it's
My
bro,
my
boxing
idea
depends
was
on money.
He has the
The
titles,
Ukraine.
and
It's
he's It doesn't
It's
matter if
about the
he's the
money,
A-son.
right?
He has the title. He has the
So
titles,
okay, in
Of
that
course,
and
it's
case,
because he has the
of course,
titles, he should be able to call the
no,
shots.
no. In that case, why didn't Pacquiao ever fight in the Philippines, or why doesn't Canelo fight in Mexico? Because it's not about
Well,
that, bro. It's about where they can make
because
the most
Pacquiao
money.
are road warriors. I mean, Usyk, he's been fighting all his championship fights at away from home. I mean, he should
Yeah,
deserve
and
to
not getting
fight all over.
paid.
Now
So you
here's what
so you think
here's
he's gonna fight in the Ukraine if he's gonna get paid a quarter of the money and sell a
yeah.
quarter of the pay-per-views? What are you
Yeah.
Here's what
retarded or
I'll
what?
say. Usyk will
But are
fight
you a
in the
Joshua
Ukraine.
fanboy? I mean,
Ah,
Hold on.
come on, bro. You can't. That's
Usyk
not an
will
argument,
fight
bro.
in the UK again. Sorry, in the Ukraine again. But it's gonna be when, like, if he beats Joshua again and beats Fury, he'll probably fight in the Ukraine.
You know
But
where he could fight, bro?
yeah, he
Where
will.
he actually sold tickets, and there's actually a lot of Eastern European people. Chicago, bro. Chicago.
yeah,
When he
He
fought
already
in
had a fight
Chicago.
there.
Yeah,
and
Right.
he
it's
already
sold
fought.
out,
or New
dude.
York
It's
City,
sold
or
out.
not you in New York City, but yeah, go ahead.
Like
In New
here's what I'll
York, you
say.
could too. You could do it, but I think it's not as
I just feel like it's
fluent in
there's gonna be a
Chicago.
little bit of a
Chicago,
rubber.
it's a
Someone's got to
lot.
pay for a site fee for that fight, guys. That's not going to be
Here's
like a world tour. Let's go do it in
here's
fucking, you know, I mean, Chicago, I get it, but I mean, Chicago and the Garden are not going to pay him to fight. Vegas or them fucking,
here's where I'll say
them Saudi
uh
fellas.
Saudi
he should
brothers.
fight in Monaco. It's a neutral ground,
Ah,
and I
that's a
think
good idea.
people would pay.
Huh?
There's
At
casinos
11?
there
Yeah.
too.
At 11. All
I
right,
could
time.
But
bet
yeah,
Dubai,
like
bro.
Usyk, I mean,
Huh?
since
Also,
he's the
this man.
champion, he should be able to decide where he wants to fight. If he wants to fight in Ukraine, let him fight in Ukraine. He has the titles.
He doesn't want to, is my point.
He doesn't. Yeah, he probably doesn't want to, Brandon.
Not on this fight. I'm saying the money's not going to be there. That's all. I mean, he has gone all over the world. He is a road warrior and all that, but he wasn't getting paid for that. So now it's a fucking mega fight. I mean, now's the time to get paid, right?
He
These
wants
dudes are
that money,
prize
dude.
fighters.
He
Yeah, they're
beat
prize
AJ the
fighters. That's what
first
they do.
time. He's probably getting a fucking bag for the second fight.
He's getting
Well,
60
compared to like World Boxing Super Series, yeah. I mean, fuck. I mean, now's the time to make it, right?
I
Yeah.
think he'll beat AJ a second time. It's still a good fight. It's still a
Depends who
fight where
AJ gets as a trainer. In my
At the end of the day, I just don't think that it's up to the promoters who can renew the release clauses. I mean, it's up to the commissions. It's up to the boxing sanctioning
Bodies.
sanctioning belts. I mean, they should be the ones who decide if it's up for a rematch. If it's super close, like for example, Loma versus Tio, that's more worthy of a rematch than Usyk versus Joshua because Usyk beat him 9-3. He beat him like convincingly. I
I
mean,
had it 10 rounds to 2, nine
yeah,
rounds
or
to 3.
around
But
there.
I'm gonna say this, like I see Hefe's is like it's whoever Joshua gets as a trainer. The trainers I've seen Joshua work with, I just don't think they're gonna work for him. I think if he goes with Eddie Reynoso, he gets knocked the fuck out in like 8 rounds.
Nah, I disagree because Eddie Reynoso would teach him something he hasn't done before, which is way
Okay,
too
I'm gonna
different.
ask you this:
Spanish.
I'm gonna ask you this: what Eddie
Yeah.
Reynoso fighter has looked good in their first 2 to 3 fights?
Well, none of them, but the difference is the
So let me ask
style.
you this now, since you answered that:
You're using a
what is
triangle theory,
Joshua
bro.
what is Joshua gonna do different than Valdez, Ryan Garcia, Frank Sanchez,
Well,
Andy
Luis
Frank
Ruiz,
Neri,
Sanchez looked
etc.?
badass, bro. His last fight, I
Luis
was
Neri,
against
They
because
look
against
bad in their first fights with him, though.
exactly.
No, but what I'm trying to say, it's gonna be a different look, different environment. Sometimes you gotta get out of your comfort zone, bro. AJ has been way too comfortable in the UK, bro. You got a bunch of fucking weirdos over there in Britain, bro. Massaging his muscles, taking
Uji
pictures
Boogie.
with them, bro. If he
Usyk
comes to,
has to fight
hold on,
AJ
bro.
wherever
Hold
AJ
on, bro.
wants
Hold
is
on,
in
hold
a
on, bro. Hold
contract.
on, hold
Well,
on, bro.
Usyk should just
Hold on, hold on,
retire
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
and
hold on,
then
bro.
come back.
Okay, bro.
Talking over you, Hefe.
What I'm saying, bro.
Coming right over the top on Hefe. God damn.
All I
What
hear
I'm,
is him is going, hold on, bro.
what
Wait,
I'm
wait,
trying to
wait,
say,
wait, wait.
bro. Sometimes you gotta take a man out of his comfort, bro, for him to become a man. I did that, bro. I've been in the penitentiary, bro, and I know what it is to feel uncomfortable, bro. And sometimes that makes you a man, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
it makes you mentally stronger, physically. You gotta get stronger,
You did
and
beat life, right?
yeah, bro. And
The wheelchair.
you gotta fight, bro. You gotta fight, and that's what AJ gotta do. He gotta understand, bro. His career is on the line. You gotta fight this man. There is no boxing, bro. You gotta take it to Usyk and knock him out.
Did you guys see where he said, I need like where he's basically trying to say he's gonna trying to gain more heart or something like that. Like you
I'm
He's
can't
a
I'm
you
gonna
can't
bitch.
you,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
say
More
this, Rip
heart.
Reed. I'm gonna say
yeah,
this,
like
Rip
you can't
Reed.
teach
I
that.
think AJ,
Rapper,
yeah,
you's a bitch, yo.
here's the thing. It sounds good
God
that
damn.
he's gonna just
Like
I need
dog
more
walk
heart.
Usyk, right?
you
But
can't
I
teach
just
that
don't
shit.
think it's gonna happen. I think Usyk is gonna stop him this time because here's the thing: who
Yeah.
usually wins the rematch, the smarter boxer or the puncher? It's the smarter boxer, and Usyk is the smarter boxer.
Well, let me
Yeah.
ask you guys a question. Do you guys think AJ has it in him? Do you guys think AJ he has that mental fortitude, bro?
I think he
That can
has the
stick with
power
it.
to knock Usyk out.
No, no, I'm talking
He's
about
got
that.
the mental fortitude. He's got the mental fortitude, man. He's very strong mentally, but
Mhm.
it's fucking Usyk's gonna be a problem for any of these guys. It's got he's got all the movement, he's got all the style, he's got the front hand, and now he's got the weight. I mean, really, he's taken away all the variables that everybody questioned about him. Can he fill out? Shit, he must have fucking put on 20.
What about the
Looks like a different
size?
fighter, man.
What about the
Yeah, the
size?
size. That's what I'm saying. He's got
No,
the
what I'm
size
saying,
now.
why doesn't AJ use his size on Usyk? Make him fight in the inside.
He couldn't,
Push
dude.
him back.
Can't find him.
No, bro,
He
because he's
couldn't.
trying to
I'm
box
telling
him,
you, the
bro.
reason he
He's trying
couldn't
to
use
box
his
him. He's trying to
size is
look
because
pretty.
Usyk can
He's trying to look
fucking
for the right
move.
hand. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
gonna.
right, Hefe. You're right, Hefe. I mean, he didn't execute for sure, but I don't know what. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying, bro. You can't box. This is where you gotta grab your balls, bro, and just fight. You gotta fight this man. You gotta
Yeah.
throw everything at him.
I think that's what he has to do, but I think at the same time that's what will get him fucking knocked out.
It could, yeah. I no, I think
Well,
he probably would get.
so
He
be it.
probably
Usyk
would,
is tough,
but
dude.
he needs to,
Us-
man.
Usyk has 12 rounds with AJ and Chisora. He knows what a dirty fighter can do, and he knows what a boxer puncher can do. If AJ just tries to switch to dirty fighter or tries to mix a bit of both, Usyk will be ready for it. He's seen it already.
not the
Look,
time
I
to do
think
that.
AJ would do better boxing against Wilder until
Yeah.
Wilder hits him, right? Until Wilder hits him.
Yeah.
Then we'll see what happens, right? If Wilder hits him with that fucking straight right that he hit Fury with,
Lights out.
I don't know if AJ gets back up. I'll be
AJ's
honest with
All
you.
out.
right, that's a typical heavyweight though. This
No,
Usyk's a
but what I'm
different
saying is
problem.
what I'm
Usyk's a
saying is
different problem, man. You can't
he's
come
better
after him
off
like Chisora
outboxing.
did.
He's better off outboxing a guy like that. Even Tyson Fury, I think he get outboxed, but box with that guy. I don't think he should even think about that shit when it comes to
Usyk.
Usyk, man. I think he should just like
It's like Herring and
Hefe said,
Stevenson,
just try to
man. You
throw his
can't
weight on his
throw.
ass.
You can't throw when there's that much coming back at you that fast. I
Yeah.
mean, I never seen Usyk faster than that first and second round. You ever seen him faster than that?
Nah, bro.
I never seen him. I
I've
never
seen him
seen
in
him faster
volume.
than that.
I've seen him in volume faster, but like not like those 1 2
Not that
minutes.
speed.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
speed was
that's,
crazy, and he's fucking 20 pounds bigger, man.
yeah.
He's big. Pause.
Usyk, bro. Usyk. If he beats AJ, I wonder what
Hold on,
he's
hold on,
gonna
real quick,
do.
guys.
Oh
I'll be right
god.
back. All right, I'll let you
I
guys.
think he'll fuck Tyson Fury up even worse, man. I
Oh,
don't
that's
think
what I
he.
was gonna ask, bro.
Fellas, what do you guys think of Frank Sanchez? I'm kind of impressed by him
He's a
versus
beast, bro.
I think he could give some of those guys some good work as well.
I can't hear you, bro.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Frank Sanchez will be given the franchise title just like his buddy Canelo. That's what I think.
Here comes the Canelo hate, bro.
Frank Lopez.
Hey,
Yeah.
bro, Frank Sanchez would
Frank
win.
Sanchez, hold on, this isn't Scarface, fellas. All right, this isn't Scarface, but he's going to be given the same treatment as Canelo.
I was gonna say, bro, Frank Sanchez, bro, like the dude's fast.
He's
He's
got some skill.
athletic. He got footwork, bro. He got decent power, but the thing about him, bro, I want to know his fucking age because that
Say about my
motherfucker
mama.
is not 29,
You
bro.
say about my mama.
But yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Frank Sanchez. I swear to God, maybe it's just I'm tired, but who the fuck is that?
He fought on the. Did you watch the undercard with the Wilder and Fury?
Yeah.
He fought heavyweight.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Straight
Ajagba.
serious right now?
Ajagba.
yeah, yeah. He showed some skills to me. Like I was impressed. I mean, then again, FA is kind of like Wilder. He's limited skill wise,
Oh,
but
Short
still,
guy.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. What did you think of Shakur Stevenson's performance?
I thought he did. I thought he did herring just like Mayweather did.
All
Arturo
right, all
Gotti.
right. Anyway,
Yeah,
so yeah, no. I mean, he did his thing, man. But did
I
his.
was.
I mean, he can't fucking argue with it. He stood in there. His power, man. He's got to put some puncher's gloves on. It's big gloves, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Who-
he was doing some damage to Jamel, so he showed some things that I think a lot of people didn't know he had.
I mean,
I think, honestly, in my opinion, I've been saying this. I've been saying this, but I needed this performance to like make me sure. I think he's more talented than all this, so-called four queens, whatever you want to call them. I think he's the most talented out of that group.
Kings. They're called kings.
Kings, whatever you want to call them. We call them queens.
the
Until he
hand
fights
speed's there. Yo, the hand speed's there, and the combinations are there.
his he
But he
has the
wobbled
best.
him. He
He
didn't. He
did.
didn't. He wobbled him on a check hook, one check hook. That's all I'm saying to him. Just you throw he throws the same speed every punch. This is positive. I'm saying constructively.
Hmm.
He throws full speed and the same speed every punch, and
Yeah,
you wind up going like Amir Khan doing that. You can fucking land a zillion combinations, and then Danny Garcia will clip your ass if you punch with him. He's got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand the big gloves. I really don't. Uh,
for Shakur.
yeah, the fuck's going on with the gloves, man? It's fucking huge. You got two pairs of gloves on in there. Did you see Herring's gloves compared to his?
No, I
I
didn't
see.
notice that. I didn't
God
notice
damn.
that. Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, but just based on like skill set, like his distance control is like really really good.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
You know the scale bender there. I've seen some gloves that kind of look bigger or smaller than what they're supposed to be. I actually I don't I don't know if this is just the way Everlast made them, but I remember when I got my 12 ounces, they actually look like they're 8, man. Uh,
Yeah.
did he run off or something?
Um, not sure. Maybe.
What's going on with Scalebender? He's been a little feminine all fucking night. Every time I would say something, he gets a little, starts crying like a baby. I've noticed. Jesus, man.
Why? What's up with you guys?
I've never even met that guy in my life, but he just kept getting a little feminine. But
Did you
yeah,
say
anyway,
something? You said something to him one time. He got mad or something.
probably in the past. I mean, I don't remember the last fucking piece of meal I had today. I remember nothing, man. I don't know. I don't know what's the guy want, but
Uh,
so yeah, what are you guys talking about mainly? I just kind of hopped in. Is it Shakur Stevenson?
we were talking about everything, but that was the main topic. Like, what do you think? Like, what's next for him, and you know, just
Well,
overall.
I think what's next is I don't think he should disappear as quick as he did in the featherweight category. I think he should take his time, maybe unify. You know, here's one thing I would always say.
Hmm.
It's one thing to kind of unify a division, but then it's another to at least defend all of those titles maybe 2 or 3 more times. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I would at least like to see that from somebody, in the future. But as
He
far
says
as yeah, go ahead.
he says he wants Oscar Valdez. He's been chasing him since 126.
wants Oscar.
Yep, that's the
Um,
latest.
yeah, that's what I heard. And then some people are calling him a duck, but I was like, I don't know why are people calling Oscar a duck? I mean, did
Because
something supposed to happen between them?
because Shakur mentions he's been mentioning Oscar a lot. He's actually
Oh,
been chasing him since 126, and people say that Oscar, vacated the belt at 126 to move up to 130, and Shakur is chasing him all the way up to 130, and now there should be no excuse. They should make the fight now. So we'll see if he's really ducking him, or we'll see, because there's no excuse now. He said he wanted the winner of this fight.
It's an easy fight to make too, right? They're both promoted by
Yep,
Bob
Aaron.
Arum, so
yeah,
it's an
same guy.
in-house
Yeah.
fight.
People say that Aaron might try to protect him and just give him Navarrete, give Valdez Navarrete, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that. That's what I heard at least.
I like to see that fight happen, man. I would probably lean towards Shakur Stevenson beating him. I think it would be a good fight though. I think this kid, what's his name, Valdez, will have some
Hmm.
moments in the fight because he's gritty.
Yeah,
But I think Shakur overall probably just beats him on
yeah,
points, more likely.
yeah, yeah. I'd be surprised if he stopped him. Valdez, one thing about him, he's tough.
Yes.
Dude
That's,
followed up broken jaw or something. So
yeah. But maybe you never know though. Sometimes fighters get through that, but maybe they don't want to go through that shit again.
yeah, true. No, most normal human beings wouldn't, but
Nope.
they're not normal human beings. That's why they box. Her.
True, man. Yeah, I would like Shakur to take his time at 130 and get some stuff done. I mean, at least the Oscar Valdez fight. If
Yeah,
that fight presents itself and they can make it happen, go for
yeah,
that. And if he can't get if a bigger fight, shows up and it's at a
hmm.
higher weight class, then I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind him going up.
Would you be ready to put him like on like the lower end of the pound for pound if he beats Oscar?
Well, I mean, if he starts like cleaning out the division, and that's a sign of if he
Hmm.
goes in there, he beats Oscar. Okay, so he beat Herring. Yeah, Herring's a B level fighter at best. Okay, fine.
Hmm.
But Valdez would be an undefeated fighter
Yeah,
technically. Whatever you think about his last fight, he's still undefeated, right?
yeah,
A champion, and he beats him.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to start putting him in. You got to start considering him
yeah,
for pound, or at least if that's your standard of pound for pound, then why wouldn't you put him in there? You know.
yeah.
What's up, Viking?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, bro. Talking about the fights. Shakur Stevens. What's your thoughts on his fight on Saturday?
I'm in do that.
You're breaking up a little bit, Viking.
No, I said I was kind of impressed that Shakur beat him the way that he did because he went toe to toe. He laid it on him. He was ready to like go. He didn't back up once. I mean, he took a few rounds off, but like that was a fucking clear domination. And I thought Herring was like. I thought Herring is a tough guy, so it's like you got to give Shakur the props. I mean, Valdez fight that he called out is fair and square. Like Valdez got to step up.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the stoppage?
I didn't understand it. I didn't see anything different than any other fucking round, really. Did you?
Not really. I just thought
The
that
cut. I mean, the cut was there, but
I
what
just
the
thought
fuck?
that it was okay because Herring was not really doing anything, and so
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but like at the same time, it was like this guy's
He,
not. Guy's defeated already. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
he wasn't gonna win no matter what.
that was my thought too. Because it's like he was gonna keep getting hit the same way that he was getting hit the whole time. So it was like, why let it go for another 2 rounds? Because he already got cut. Shakur doesn't have the fucking power to stop him or like, you know what I mean? So he was doing the technical thing, which was like putting pressure on the eye and stuff like that. So it's like the ref already sees through that. Like, so it's like he's gonna put pressure on the eye for long. So it's like what Herring is like 35, 36. So it's like, why does
Yeah.
it need like the extra fucking 2 rounds of beating just to let people know that he's done? He was done. The referee could see it. So it's like, it was a little bit early in the sense that like Herring could still survive till the end, but like
Hmm.
Shakur is coming up and he's young, so I guess he had that kind of advantage that people like already saw what he needed to see. So Perry wasn't doing anything to stop, like the kind of pressure or like getting hit. Like he was getting hit like left and right. Every fucking punch that fucking Shakur hit
And
him.
with big shots too.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, he
He
was
was with
getting.
the power. Like as long as Herring didn't have any answer for it, which he didn't, I thought it was kind of fair.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why it really. I get what Pete's saying that there was really no difference in terms of like the effects, but I think if they would have let it go on, he probably just stops him like in the next round, or probably even how much time was left in that round in the 10th round. Do you guys know?
I forget.
Probably not that round. Probably like the next round, man. Like, did you want
I
to just
mean,
keep seeing him beating him up like that for 12 rounds?
Nope.
Hmm.
uh,
What would be the use? I don't know.
well, I'm just saying it's a fucking fight. It's a fight. It's
Anything could
consensual. They're both
happen.
in there. They're both in
Yeah.
there consensually. You know, what I mean, they could either one of them could stop the fight, but or the corner could have stopped it. The cut, the doctor looked at it. I mean, it is what it is. That's not for the ref to worry about. Is a cut. So I was just saying, like, I just didn't understand what was different about that than the fifth round and the sixth round and the seventh round. I mean, he took a couple of rounds. He got off the gas a little bit. I thought he had to, but the seventh, eighth, and ninth round, he was pretty much doing the same thing. And again, my not knocking, he won the fight clearly. He did what he had to do, but it's not because he was hurt or wobbled. He wasn't even knocked down even.
But he looked
So
beat up, right? Like he
yeah,
did
he
look like
wasn't
beat
throwing.
up.
He listen, man. This guy here is allegedly 35 years old, 34 years old.
Yep.
So every punch that you throw exerts energy, and every punch that you receive takes it away too. So I mean, if he had thrown more punches, he might have gotten stopped or knocked down.
Herring
So
looked
that was
like
you get it. Kept his hands at home,
Yeah.
just taking punishment. I mean,
Herring
he
looked
made a
like
decision to survive it. That's the bottom line.
Herring looked like he would have been pulled out if that was a sparring session. Did it say get him out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, true. Because I mean, there's nothing on the line with sport. You're not getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let the corner
No, I
stop it
know
if
it's
it's
a
going to
real.
be
I
because of
mean,
the eye or because of the. That's a discussion they got to have in the corner. Like, unless I see something, I'm gonna fucking pull you. But I'm not saying he would have won. There's no chance he would have won. Um,
Show me something or I'll stop the fight, son. Show me something.
Yeah.
yeah. It was like
Go on, son. Show me something or I gotta stop the fight, all right? Go on. You don't want to show me nothing?
he
All right,
wasn't
I'm stopping the fight.
he wasn't really showing anything. I mean, in the clinches, like it kind of looked like Herring was like putting it on a little bit, like because in the clinches, but then like Shakur made adjustment and he was clearly taking a round off, and still like Herring couldn't like really touch him. So it was like I just think that like another 2 rounds he would have get beat just like that. So I was like, you're ready to go, bro. So it's like whatever, you're already like hella discouraged and like you're not being able to land anything. So
yeah, he looked intimidated in a lot. I said, look, there was some moments in the fight in certain rounds. I thought he won every round, Shakur. Right? I thought he won. I don't know about you guys, but at least to me,
yeah, yeah,
there was
yeah,
like
yeah.
no round I could really give
yeah,
him. Maybe the
that
fifth,
was
maybe like the second or the was it the second round, fourth round, or the fifth? So one of those rounds where he looked like he did a lot better. He probably landed in double digits, but I still like in that round that I'm not remembering right now. Shakur did more than him. Like he took, looked like Shakur took some time off, not the whole round, just like let's say like a minute, and then just started beating him up.
yeah,
Again.
yeah.
In
Um, I-
control, in control of the whole fight for sure.
yeah.
Herring's just totally overwhelmed, but not because of the power, because of the speed. And
He couldn't get off. Like he was just like trying and trying, but like he just couldn't get off. So I was like, dude, like Herring, like whatever we thought that you could do, you clearly can't do. and it's like you're done with like. And I mean, he was not gonna give up and stuff like that, but it's like I think he just like saved like a few years, not a few years, like maybe a few months of like his health, because his wife was in the fucking dressing room, like like all cooped up, like looking at the husband and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, man, you're ready to go, like you're ready to pass the torch. So it's whatever, man.
Exactly. He's ready to pass the torch. He kind of like
A torch.
the torch.
He didn't have a torch to pass.
But what I mean is, look, he came in right. Let's say he had a good mindset. He came in with Jada Kiss, one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, come on, man. The guy's one of the
Shout out to
greatest to ever do it.
Jadakiss.
Let's be honest, all right?
Yeah,
He
Legend.
came in with he's a
John.
legend, right? He came in, he's a little hyped, like I'm walking with Jada Kiss, bro.
I know it was Jada with him.
Yeah.
And then when he gets in the ring, like after the first 3 rounds, he's like, "Ah, man, I don't think I can fuck with this kid."
Yeah,
Were you guys impressed or like shocked at all? Was anybody shocked at Shakur?
I wasn't shocked.
No, no, it made sense. Like I didn't predict. I thought he was gonna win the fight. I even thought he was gonna score a knockdown. I thought he was gonna win a
Oh,
unanimous
you did?
decision, right? Yeah, like I didn't expect him to stop him because look, Shakur going into the fight, his knockout ratio is 50% going into the fight. He's like 16 wins, 8 losses. So I'm not gonna predict that guy to knock out Jamel Herring. Now he
Right.
didn't knock him out; he stopped him. Right, referee made a
You basically
decision.
picked right, though. I mean, goddamn, you
Yeah, yeah,
basically
he
picked
beat him
right.
up. Yeah, he basically beat him. Maybe even
He
more
was
aggressive.
on.
I thought maybe Herring will win 2, 3, 4 rounds, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So at least that. So he
Yeah,
did better than expected. Shakur Stevenson. He did better than I expected him to do.
I don't think he hasn't lost a round since he started fighting. So, which
That's
is,
the thing. That's the thing about like I always think like even with AJ Usyk and stuff like that, it's like the thing that I conclude like all these like high level matches is like, dude, you're never gonna see a fighter that's like high level with another guy that's like high level at the same level fight the same way that you would see him in, 41 knockouts don't matter when you're
yeah,
going in with somebody like Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna force you to change all of your fucking game plans. This is gonna be completely different. Like Canelo is not gonna fucking knock out Triple G just because Canelo has whatever knockouts. Like, Triple G is not gonna knock out Canelo no matter how many knockouts he has. Like at the
Good
highest
point.
level,
yeah,
everybody's gonna fight different. So like at that level, I feel like the high for high, I feel like
hmm
Shakur Stevenson like dominated him. And then that's like Herring's highest level just didn't match up to like Shakur's highest level, and that's what I thought.
But look at
yeah,
the difference. Get AJ and Usyk. It's prime versus prime, tested versus tested. They've developed versus developed. Right here, you got a contender, a damn
that's
good contender. A top-notch contender, fighting against a guy 34 years old. Mm,
hmm
I mean, I'm not gonna call him a contender. I'm gonna call him like I don't know. It is what it is. But so it's like you got to let that fight continue. In other words, I know the 2 rounds wouldn't have made a difference in the fight for Herring. That's what he signed up for. And if again, there's a lot of ways to stop a fighter from taking too much damage.
yeah, but
Recognized, call for a decision. I called for a knockout in the 10th round. I was right, but really, I fucking not like that. Not just the ref just step, but for the ref just making the decision to step in there. I'm wrong. Recognized actually right. He was on path to win a decision, a lopsided decision, probably a shutout.
A
yeah,
120. He was about to 120 him.
Yeah,
120.
yeah,
God damn.
but I mean, even at this level, to dominate a guy, even though he's older, to dominate a guy like Jamel Herring, that's impressive. Like,
it's very impressive. But I mean, it's a 12-round fight.
yeah,
I think like
Has he fought any 12-rounders before? I don't even know if he's gone. Has
Yeah,
Shakur been
yeah.
a 12?
No, he has. He has.
oh yeah,
His last
plenty
fight?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, you got to let him get the rounds in. I know his wife's upset and all that bullshit, but like she's
yeah,
irrelevant to it. You can't factor all that in as a ref just to step in. I'm not saying like again, Herring really never had a chance from the third on, but uh,
That fight looked like the old head versus the young cat, the young Thundercat,
yep.
and the young boy just he got a little too much for you.
Like,
Yeah, it's who was it that was saying like it was if it was Recognize was saying like if it was a gym fight it would have been like all right bro you're done you're like for
Yeah,
the next
they
day.
would have stopped it. They were like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
getting beat up, bro."
pack it up.
Yeah,
I think Shakur just got like the benefit of the doubt, right? Because he's the young cat. He proved what he had to do. He came forward. He fought like unlike what he had fought last time. Because Herring fucking had a very very like way better fight than fucking Shakur. So that was the only thing that was like okay he should have gotten like a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because he fucking stopped Frampton and stuff like that, made him like retired him and stuff like that. But Shakur came in like like not impressing anybody and like one of the most boring fights at that caliber from a guy that was supposed to come out. So I guess this time I guess those things kind of like the ref was like ref kind of gave him like the benefit of the doubt. All right, let this kid have a stoppage type shit.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he wasn't defending
you know
himself. Like
what? I
Recognize
like
said,
Shakur
bottom line.
Stevenson.
What?
You know what I like Shakur Stevenson?
His 7-Eleven conduct? What?
I found out he got some. I found out he got some Puerto Rican in him.
Oh
Oh
shit!
shit.
Here we
There
go.
we go.
And you know
That's
something?
true.
He
I
is
think his
funny
brother.
looking enough to be Puerto Rican. So I will say, yeah, I think he is.
Recognize you're completely wrong. It's not Puerto Rican. It's Dominican. All right, don't get
Ah,
excited.
come on, man. Damn.
I hate to be the party pooper, which I usually always am, but it's not Puerto Rican. It's Dominican. All right, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh
Recognize got the
shit.
23andMe results back.
Damn.
He's 0.5% Puerto Rican. Oh shit! Here we go.
Well, then I'll tell my oldest son about him. He is half Dominican, so
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but in all fairness, recognize, the Dominicans have always been above the Puerto Ricans. I'm sorry.
you better
I'm
you
sorry.
better watch you
I'm
better
sorry,
watch your
recognize.
mouth. You better stay out of this, all right?
No,
This is
no,
between us and
I'm
them.
not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
No, he knows him. He knows him.
You better stay out of this, all right?
No, listen. No, because on the real, the Puerto Ricans they run New York, right? So
Oh,
there.
I
Get
You
him,
wouldn't say
man.
happy?
that. I wouldn't
You
say
happy?
that either.
Nah,
You happy?
Dominicans are
Hey,
kind of hard.
recognize. Don't forget, I got two ways to get to Queens: LaGuardia and JF Kennedy. Don't forget it. I got easy access.
What does
Easy
that what
access.
does that mean? What does that mean? What does that
No,
mean?
nothing. Doesn't mean
It don't
nothing.
mean
It means
nothing.
nothing. It means nothing. Let's get back to boxing. It means nothing. All right. It means absolutely nothing.
I told you what I
Absolutely
Recognize.
nothing.
usually I tell you what I usually do to people named Slugger Slam, right? They end up sleeping
It's
standing.
Slugger Sam. It's Slugger Sam. I don't know why everybody on here calls me Slugger Slam. You see an L in front of the A, it's not there. It's Slugger Sam, all right? But anyways,
Recognize. Give him the L.
Well,
that was
Liam,
actually really good. That was actually really good. I'll give you that. That was a good metaphor there. I like it. I like
I
it.
like even more. His dad is Puerto Rican. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But recognize. What do you think of Xander?
A beast.
I like that kid.
Yeah,
I
I like
really
him
do.
too. I'm gonna watch
I'm
him.
not over exaggerating, right? Because he's still in that development mode. So you don't know when somebody gets cracked in the fucking face how that can change. But fights very mature for his age. He understands you got to go to the body. He understands mixing up punches.
He's still
He fights like
19.
he fights like a grown man.
Yeah,
Reminds me of Virgil Ortiz a little bit.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
leaves the combination out a little bit too long, but that could be polished, But he's
that's true.
19.
But he's not. Yep, he's 19 years old. He's from my neck of the woods in Florida, which probably tells me his parents come from New York and they moved to Florida, or they come from Puerto Rico and they moved to Florida, right? One of those things. And so that those gyms that he's coming from, he's from Plantation, that's in
Hmm.
South Florida. Um, and so
Love
they got some
plantation.
good, they got some pretty good gyms over there. They always did, you know. They've always had pretty good gyms in that part of Florida. So who knows, man? They probably get, and from the way I understand it, they're getting better in how they develop fighters in that region. So who knows, man?
Yeah, he's got to go all the way. Like I feel like I, I don't know. Like I don't want to say anything bad, but it's like sometimes I feel like Puerto Rican fighters like. Then again, like you got the Berlanga, so it's like of course it's gonna reflect on them. But like they always seem to come out like really, 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 really hard and really, really good, and the record's really good. But like they sometimes like they don't take the losses the same way the Mexican fighters do. They just seem to be like they just seem to cap at a certain kind of loss. I mean, I feel like hopefully he pushed past that. But I don't know. Like we need a Trinidad type shit. You know what I mean? Like we need somebody to go all the way, like wins or losses. You know what I mean?
Trinidad was like the. I think he might be the best fighter to come out of that island. I think.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I think he's the best one because
He's also
he
like
had
a
the total
straight-
package, right?
Tito.
Yeah, he had the total package for me. Like, okay, he had decent skills, right? He had pretty good technique,
hard.
fast, and a lot of heart. Yep. And
Mean streak too. Mean
when he
streak.
lost, that was when he decided to like to do that semi-retirement and have like after he lost to B Hops, what basically he had like 3 fights after that, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That was his dad. Let's be honest, right? He's one of those kids that I kind of know the culture. Like anything their dad says, it's like God, right? Even if you don't personally feel that way, you're like, well, listen, if my dad is saying it's time for me to retire, then I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
So his dad, you're saying, held him out
Of
after that
course,
B up?
one
Okay.
hundred percent, 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue with senior. Smack you in the face.
Did
Smacked
you
him in
see
the
him?
face when he did good,
Did you
forehand
see
and
him
backhand.
crying?
I
Did you
loved it.
see him crying after the Fernando Vargas fight?
His dad?
No, Trinidad. Trinidad at the post at the they had a post fight conference. He was crying. You could go look it up for yourself.
In what way? In
No,
like
he
he
was
can't
crying like
happy that he did it?
I almost got my ass beat.
Oh yeah.
That kind of cry. Fernando Vargas,
No, stop it.
bro, go watch. Listen, anybody who speaks Spanish, you'll be able to translate very easily. You could just look at his emotions. You don't have to really speak Spanish. That was a dude who survived. He felt like I survived that fight. I was in bad shape, and he was,
Yeah.
man. Fernando Vargas busted up that eye, and he wasn't
Yeah.
the same after that.
I thought
He
I was
took
gonna
life.
kill Fernando Vargas.
I
He took
thought so
years out
too.
of his life.
I thought I was gonna. I mean, towards the end of the fight, I thought I was gonna like homicide. Like
Yeah.
fucking. That's a fight you wouldn't mind. You don't.
No.
You're looking for a corner to fucking make a
Right.
decision. He's teeing off on his fucking ass. I mean,
Fernando's is a dog. Like that
he's a
dude.
dog, man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
you're gonna let that
rare
kid
breed.
keep
Go look at his
getting teed
resume.
off on.
Go look at his resume all the way to the Trinidad fight.
Yeah. I've
He
been
was
almost studying
22,
him.
bro. He was 22.
Yeah, that's crazy. 22.
I want to know why did they do him like that? Why did they just put him in there with a bunch of killers?
That's a good question, bro. But I think a lot of that had to do with Vargas. Vargas was like,
Yeah.
I want those fights.
Yeah. He's a
Before
street cat.
Winky Wright, dude. Winky Wright's one of the best 154 pounders in
Yeah.
its history. Forget about in the last 20 or 30 years. In its history
I
of that
mean,
division.
He won
uh,
that fight too. I think he
Yeah,
beat
he
Winky.
got the nod. They gave it to him. That fight could have went either way, though. If you really look
Yeah.
at that fight, it could have went either way.
yeah.
Winky Wright beat Shane Mosley twice. Don't forget that. He beat him twice.
The Trinidad fight's a good example of like, all right, he's 22 years old. He stepped up. The thing about Trinidad is there's always a chance to clip him. You know, like you saw how quick that you saw how quick that fight was back and forth the first 5 rounds. You remember like Trinidad would have success and then take a knockdown. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, but I mean, how long did that fight go? 10 rounds? When did they stop
What
that
fight?
fight?
Oh,
With
the last round.
Vargas. The
With
last
Trinidad,
round,
right?
yeah. See, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's the last round. It's like you want to let him finish, but fuck, man, Tito was just like George Foreman said. I mean, you don't say much that makes total sense, but he's like a track star. He's like a
that
track
ninth round.
star.
Remember that
He's got
ninth
his
round?
foot like back there, like a track star. See that? You got to be very careful with a guy with his foot like that. Keeps his back foot kicked up, ready to go. I mean, he was fucking teeing off on his ass the last round.
There was 2
Yeah.
reasons why I think Trinidad was very emotional after that fight. Number one, the first and foremost, he knew he took a beating in that fight. Trinidad, he had to really fight, give everything in that particular fight.
Yeah.
And also, he knew that he hurt Vargas bad.
Yeah.
And Vargas is a
That's
young
what I would
dude.
say.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
young dude. But that's what it was going to take to beat Vargas because he was in trouble in
Like,
that
yeah.
fourth round, bro. That fourth round, Trinidad
Bad.
loved the boy. He looked like he was ready to go. He looked like he
Yeah,
was in a lot of trouble.
yeah.
But didn't Tito get dropped in the fifth? Didn't he get dropped the round
No,
after
it was
that?
in the fourth round. In the fourth round, right? He busted that eye in the third round against Trinidad, right? Vargas Trinidad. So he busts the eye in the third round towards the end, and you see kind of Trinidad like playing with the eye. Vargas noticed it. Vargas came back, knocks him down. Trinidad gets up a little slower than usual.
Yep.
Vargas noticed that, jumps on him, and
Oh, and then he got walked
Tito
into
hit
some
it. Yeah,
shit.
he hit him in the balls.
Yeah, yeah, that was one of those ones. It was like a Cotto Pacquiao thing where Tito was out of the fucking picture frame and Vargas was still like fucking woo, like he was on a roller coaster. He's fucked up. Before he fell, I'm saying he was just like suspended. You know what I mean? Just totally fucking blasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was right after the yeah. Yeah, he caught Tito. It wasn't a flash, but he set him down on his ass.
Set him in his ass. Yeah, and
Yeah.
And he
and
got too carried
this is
away with it.
after
Yeah,
Tito almost knocked him out in the first round.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Tito was a generational talent, man. He was just like there was nothing that he did bad. It was just like he was great.
there's not many
Fuck you.
welterweights that would have went up to 154 and beat Vargas in the history. I'm talking about
No.
that Vargas, that particular Vargas who beat Ikote, who beat Winky Wright, who beat a pretty decent contenders like Yuri Boy Campos. What's the other guy's name? Raul Marquez. No relation
Yep.
to Juan Manuel Marquez. These guys were good fighters, bro, and he beat them. He in the Raul Marquez fight, he clearly he stopped them. He beat him up almost every round.
Yeah.
The Winky Wright fight, that was very close, and we know what the type of fighter Winky Wright ended up being.
Yep.
And that was a very close fight that could have won either way. For me, it was 6-6. Ikote, he clearly beats him. He beats him like 9 rounds to 3, bro.
Yep.
You know, so Vargas was a very tough kid. And he's like, bring on Trinidad. He said it would be an honor to fight him. And
Yeah.
a man to his word. Next thing you know, he says that they're fighting.
Yeah.
Virgil Ortiz, I get those same kind of vibes from him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
But
willing
you
to
know
fight
something,
anybody.
Rare Breed?
Yeah.
Today, because this is my belief, because of the Fernando Vargases of the world, the way
Yep.
boxing is set up, they're not going to let him do that. They're not going to
Probably.
let him do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Probably a good thing for that, to be honest. Like, to a certain extent. You
Yeah.
know, not like, but
The
yeah.
reason why is because you burn out faster. You fight top guys, you
Yeah.
burn out a lot faster. It's like, how you guys watch football, right?
Yep.
You ever see the running back position? Like these guys are good for like 4 or 5 years, maybe
Yep.
sometimes even a little longer, like a Adrian Peterson,
Yep.
guys like that. But their careers don't last long because they always
Pound.
in there. The position demands contact.
Yeah.
That's what it demands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at McCaffrey. Look at McCaffrey. He's undersized. So
No, that's a great point. That's a
McCaffrey,
great
perfect.
point.
Yeah.
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 You
Todd Gurley.
recognize while we on the subject of Winky Wright, I actually got a question after the whole panel. Hey
Yep.
man, Scale Bender, listen, why don't you just go fuck off or something, man? Relax.
What
Yeah,
the
like
fuck you going after Skip Thunder?
no,
What happened?
he took a deep breath every time I talk. He's like, I don't know, he's in his fucking feelings or something. This guy, man, like fuck off, bro. You're actually getting real annoying, man. But anyways, I was just
Wow.
wanting to ask, man, if you go back to '96 when Winky won his first world title, at the time the WBO wasn't recognized, right? So like, I was just wondering when you go back to the guys that won the WBO title in the '90s, like,
Yeah.
do you actually consider them to be a world champ? Like if they won a WBO and an IBF, do you
It
actually call?
depends. It depends on the guys, right? Because in Winky's case, like, yeah, for sure. But there were some other guys that won the WBO that it was made for that.
Like
These
if
are
you
guys
like
that were a little
recognize,
less.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but like take Prince Nassim for example. When
Yeah.
in the '90s, when he was the featherweight champ, it was actually the WBO title, which wasn't
Yeah, I
even
know.
recognized.
Yeah. No, but but you wouldn't confuse him for being a fake champion, right?
No, I wouldn't confuse him, but I mean, it's kind of interesting at the time
There
they
was a guy
consider.
named Bradley. I forget his first name. His last name was Bradley. I think he was the middleweight WBO champion, right? He was pretty good. I'm drawing a blank with his fucking first name, but he's a black dude, bald head. He's pretty tough. I remember he beat one of a good friend of mine from Florida, man. He beat
What
the fucking
division?
dog shit out of him, man.
What division did he fight? Recognize
Middleweight,
Uh,
middleweight.
middleweight. I think middleweight. I forget his
middleweight.
first
Okay.
name. His name is Bradley. But like that guy, um, I would say that WBO was made at the time for guys like him. Now, when you're talking about Winky Wright and you're talking about Prince Nassim, those guys are champions. Like they make the belt, not the belt doesn't make them.
Yep.
Yeah, well, definitely with Winky, right? I mean, I wasn't. Well, I wasn't too much into Prince Nassim, but Winky, right? I mean, that guy's definitely a man in his own class. You know,
Hmm.
those two wins against Shane Mosley, that was something I was giving him a lot of credit for. Back to back wins. You know, even
Yep.
Felix
He beat
Trinidad,
Trinidad, even
yeah,
though Trinidad was a little bit rusty, you could say, because he was on layoff for like 3 years. But
yeah.
to be fair, Winky Wright always wanted that fight. When Trinidad decided to move up to 154, he was calling for that fight. Winky wanted it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Trinidad moved up from welterweight a couple years before that. But I mean, I give Trinidad a lot of props, man, because when he moved up to middleweight, right away he fights Bernard Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't think a lot of people gave him credit for that. They kind of clown him for getting knocked out, but Trinidad, that's one guy that wanted all the smoke, man. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Stupid.
what you say?
It was a stupid move. I don't know any of these guys that move up and weight and fight and go after. Who the fuck moves up and then just fights the top dog in the division
No,
and
but
gets away with it?
it's about legacy though. That's what they're not thinking like how these young cats today think. These guys are, you know what I mean? They're thinking about legacy, right? That's all it was back then. So
Yeah,
Shane
but
Mosley did
back
it with
then it was just like you could whoever you could knock out or like whoever you could beat. Like you were just trying to take that position. It was none of this like promotional. Like, oh, I'm building up him up to be a star,
exactly. Yep.
protection, and all that shit.
Look at
They
Shane
didn't have that
Mosley.
kind of shit.
Shane Mosley moved up 2 weight classes, had like 2 tune-up fights, waited patiently, and was like, "Yo, I'll fight De La Hoya, bro. I want
Yo,
to fight
see,
that dude."
I was gonna
he,
make that point
he
about
beat
Shane
him.
Mosley. He got beat by some high level fighters, man. He took everybody, but he got beat by some high level fighters, huh? He
Yeah,
got
he
beat
did.
by.
Yep,
Yeah, he's
you're
got
right.
he's got about 10 losses or so on his record.
Fucking badass though.
Yeah, he was, man.
But look at the guys. Look at the guys he lost to. I mean, he lost to Vernon Forrest, right? Winky Wright, Miguel Cotto, like, and Mayweather Pacquiao, right? Like, it's not guys that he wasn't supposed to lose to. You know what I mean? Like these were the top guys. Canelo, right?
Did you see that fucking shit about like how he bet like $1 million on himself and his purse was like $500,000? He ended up having to pay like another $500,000 out of his own purse.
Damn.
Yo, that is funny
That's
as
crazy.
hell.
That's wild, man.
The 130
Yo,
pounder, 130-pound fighter probably, realistically.
Yeah,
he
But
had
isn't
some
it?
power.
I guess it would kind of be. It would be suspicious if you ever bet on yourself, right? I mean, sorry, bet against yourself, because then they could
Nah,
just say,
Suspicious? Yeah, I'd be
nah,
suspicious.
if you bet against yourself, you're gonna throw the fight. Come on, man.
Well,
That's
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, can't you legally bet on yourself against yourself if you wanted?
I
Is
don't
it?
think so. I mean, can you? I don't know.
there was a guy that look. I'm not saying that there was nothing that there was something there, but I'm give you a quick little breakdown. There was a guy that betted on Roy Jones getting knocked out in the second round, which was like it was plus 5,000, right? So whatever he put down, I don't know, I forget the number, but he put down some serious cash for that, and it happened. The guy was from the. You guys are familiar with the Gulf Coast, right? Like Biloxi, Pensacola,
Yeah.
yeah, parts of you guys know the region, and so those guys are. I'm not saying the guy for sure was that, but a lot of those dudes that live out there, they're high rollers, right? These are guys that make a whole lot of money. I don't know how they make it, and I don't even want to talk about how they make it, but there was a rumor going around that this had happened. So Roy Jones was a 50, Tarver was a 50-1 dog that he would knock out Roy Jones in 2 rounds. And somebody betted something like 100,000. It's a lot of money to bet, bro.
A guy in the Panhandle bet he laid down big money that Roy Jones would get clipped in the second round.
Yes.
Yeah, so that means if he laid 100,000 down, he won $5 million.
$5 million. Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's real nice.
But there was like a quick little article about it. If I try to Google this shit, man, as many times, it never really shows up, man. Never.
Imagine the face of the bookie when you had to pay $5 million on the Roy Jones.
You had to go out to Vegas to put that fucking bet in. I don't even know if they take it out a window in Vegas. That's a lot of fucking money on a prop bet.
I don't even think that's how he did it. I think what he did was what I believe happened there, and obviously I'm not a part of that, so I wouldn't fucking know for sure. That maybe a couple of, if it happened, if that even happened, because I don't know that to be 100% true. I would imagine a few people put money down and then turned it to 100,000, and then obviously put the bet in.
I'll tell you what, he sure as hell. If Roy was in on it, he sure as hell fucking sold it because he fucking got fucking sparked, didn't he? Yeah. That was the one where he got.
Does Roy have to throw the fight, or they tell Tarver, yo, go for the knockout?
Wouldn't it be Roy throwing the fight?
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, if you put $100,000 on a second round knockout and tell that to Tarver, what's he gonna say? Yeah, I'll try for you, man. I'll knock him out in the first second if I can.
Yeah, if Roy threw the fight, he probably got $1 million off of it. Come on, man.
He didn't throw that fucking. Fucking got fucking laid out.
I think
in that fight.
Just got clipped, man. I think
hard.
No, but can I just chime in real quick, guys? See, one thing about that fight that I never agreed with. I would always hear people talk about how, if you guys remember Roy Jones, he went up in weight, right, and then he fought John Ruiz for the heavyweight title. So this is what I didn't understand. He goes down later that same exact year. He goes down in weight and he fights Tarver and he beats Tarver, right? And then he has a rematch the following year, and that's when he gets knocked out in the second round, right? But the thing I didn't understand is a lot of people made excuses that he got knocked out because of the weight drain, right? But I was like, that makes no sense though, because he lost the weight for the second fight. No, he had 3 fights with Tarver, right, or 4? Okay, well, anyways, just so I don't get confused, he lost the weight for the fight direct for the fight.
So the first fight. So let me get. Okay, so this is what happened, right?
Yeah.
The first fight.
The first fight was right after Ruiz, right?
Right. So it was in late of 2003. So
okay, that's the one. See,
so what happened was,
hear me out, recognize. I'm gonna tell you this. Yeah. So he lost the weight for that fight, and he won that fight. So what I'm saying is anything that happens after that fight has nothing to do with weight drain, because he already lost the weight. But
there was many articles that Roy Jones ended up in the hospital after the first fight.
He looked like shit.
Yeah,
he looked like shit in the first fight.
So in the first fight, okay, so hear me out, Slugger Sam, right?
Yeah, you're going. Yeah.
So Emmanuel Stewart told HBO and told Roy he thinks he's making a bad move. Not only did he drop the weight, dude, and go watch Evander Holyfield versus James Toney. If you could get the telecast, I think it was Showtime. You'll see Roy Jones in the crowd. He's just as big as he was for the Ruiz fight, and that fight was in October or excuse me, somewhere like September of 2003. Okay, something like that. He also did the Source Awards, which always falls on September of every year, right? And
Yep.
you could see him come out with Mike Tyson, and he's still built. Dude, he had that fight in November of 2003.
Yeah.
He dropped 30 pounds of muscle weight.
Muscle is the point.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what Emmanuel Stewart said was, this is a bad idea. And after Roy won, he still made the claim that don't be
He looks
surprised,
off.
Roy would never be the
Yeah.
same again. And even though he won the fight, now going into the second fight, the rematch, and I the reason why I know these dates because there's a couple of things that happened that day that I kind of remember very well, right? So that fight was in May, in May of 2004. So
Right.
you're right, he did look good. He looked better. But clearly Roy lost reflexes, bro. He
He lost
lost
reflexes, and here's the other thing, man.
endurance to take
Oh,
a
you
punch.
guys talking
went up-
about when he went up in weight and then came down?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
you know what we Mexicans think? What was the thing?
What?
Just coming down on weight so fast.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm
we're
saying.
Yeah,
LG.
oh,
That's
really? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
But Slugger. But the point is though that he went up what 25 pounds, right? It
Yeah.
was like 205 for like that heavyweight fight.
No,
Yep.
he was 193. 193 actually.
193 and fight night 199. So basically
All right, so he's
200
200
pounds.
fucking pounds, 25 pounds he went up, right?
Yeah, he went
And
25.
then, and it's not like, I mean, I'm not saying it was all muscle. You could tell he was carrying some water, but
Yeah.
the thing is, it's not like he lost 25 pounds of muscle and then had to make weight for 175. He was still carrying a lot of that fucking muscle. You can't just lose 25 pounds of muscle. You have to, you can't just atrophy, right? He still has to train. So it's like, well, now my point is for that point, from that point on, from the first Tarver fight on, he's basically he's probably sweating off more weight than he's ever sweated off in his life. You know, I'm trying to say like
Yep.
he actually ate what he wanted. He actually ate properly to get up to that heavyweight, and now he has to like malnourish himself and probably cut a fucking ton of water to even make 175 again. I don't know. It was a mistake for sure. He looked like shit in the first
Yep.
fight, and then the second fight he got clipped. He was dry
And,
as hell.
Yeah.
and Emmanuel Stewart
I'm-
said this, Gil, right? He said this. He said you should take if you want to go back to 175, do it in a year's time. Not as fast as he did it, you know.
That's a really good point. I agree completely, man. That's a really good point.
Remember, he was gonna fight. Okay, he was trying to get the Mike Tyson fight. Then he was trying to get the Evander Holyfield fight, but then James Toney beat his ass, and I don't think Roy was interested in fighting James Toney again. Then he was supposed to fight. He tried to do so. He had a rematch clause with John Ruiz. It's funny, right? He had a rematch clause. I guess Don King was like, "Yeah, you can sign this fight, but if you beat my guy, you got to sign you got to fight him again or get stripped." So he tries to make the remember the South African guy that got killed, who knocked out Vladimir Klitschko, Corey Sanders.
Oh yeah, Corey Sanders. Yeah.
Roy was gonna
No.
fight him. They signed it. They signed a date. They had signed a date for like December. So he was gonna defend his belt against Corey Sanders, and then that's when
He's out of his mind, dude.
Yeah, he was out of his mind.
He's fucking out of his mind, man. God damn.
Yeah.
Hey, did they even have cruiserweight back then?
Yeah,
I
they
can't
did.
even remember.
They did.
Shit, maybe
Yeah,
he could have
I
stayed.
think the limit was 190 for cruiserweight at the time, right?
Maybe he could have fought cruiserweight, but goddamn.
Is it, what, the
Certain belts-
cruiserweight
Certain belts
didn't
were
move up.
190.
Yeah.
And the other belts were 200.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was,
You're right,
it was
you're
a
right.
funky division.
Because
Yeah,
if
it
you
was crazy.
notice, WBO, they don't really say like super welterweight. They say junior middleweight. They use the junior instead of super. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. You
LT,
know they
what's up,
actually
man?
call. You know they actually call heavy
What's up?
cruiserweight.
What's up, Skillbender? What's up, good bro?
Nada.
What's good? Recognize. What's good?
What's good,
What?
LT? Thanks for coming
What's
on.
up?
We got Rare Breed and then
No problem.
official fellow Superman.
Official, right? And Slugger Sam and Red Breed. What's up, Raza?
What's good, bro?
What's up? What's good, bro?
Hmm.
Yo,
I
but
like
on
going down memory lane, man. Those were the good old days. Good old days.
yo,
You
but
like
on
it,
with
huh,
that
Skillbender?
subject,
Huh?
yo, but now that we're talking about cruiserweight, I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people are not really too happy with the Bridgerweight thing, but I'm not gonna lie, man. I actually support it, and I'll tell you guys why. Because like man, with timing, it's just changed now, man. Like back then we didn't have these super heavyweight guys like Fury and Wilder and all these other guys.
Actually, Wilder's not a super. He's just tall.
He's
He's
just tall.
built. He's built perfectly. Actually, if you want to be built like anybody, me personally, if I was like fucking over 6'6" or whatever, I want to be built like him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you
I don't.
compare,
I'm not saying I want to fight like him. I want his heart. I want his right hand, and I want to have the same physique as him.
The bench press.
Well, the bench press.
that's right.
that dude doesn't even need that, bro. He's just got a killer right hand. He don't need that shit.
Yeah, but I feel like actually, it's funny you guys say that because I was actually thinking, Wilder can actually step down to Bridgerweight, and we'll see how it does. I mean, he's not gonna probably get the same respect as he
He's
did
too
in
big for.
heavyweight.
He's too. He'll be doing them a favor, but they gotta reward him for that. He's okay. So if Deontay Wilder goes down to Bridgerweight, which is possible, I guess. What is it? 220, 225?
224.
Okay, that odd. I mean, it's not an odd number; it's an even number, but it's weird. You should make it 225. Whatever.
Yeah.
So if Wilder does that, what name there interests Wilder? What name would interest him?
Well, I guess Rivas to start
Come on,
the
man.
Bridgerweight. Yeah, the
He'll be doing
Bridgerweight
Revis
champion.
a favor. He'll be doing Revis a favor, not the other way around.
No, but I mean, because I'm saying Rivas is the Bridgerweight champion, right? So I guess that's who it would be, right?
Well, yeah, but look, I'm looking at it from a financial point of view. Right now, if
Oh,
you're
financial.
Wilder makes last couple of fights, he's averaging about 20 million. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of dough for him to be like, oh, I'm gonna go down. You got to offer that man a lot of a sizable paycheck that'll make him say, okay, you know what? I'll go down to 224 and do this guy a favor and make people talk about him until I knock him out.
Yeah. No, I mean you're
That's
right.
that's for the Bradyses and shit, man. That's for the Bradyses and the not Bradyses, but the Gassievs and these guys that were fighting with Usyk in that Super Series that moved up to heavyweight, but they'll never really be as big as. They'll really never be a full fight. The bottom line is that it was probably needed, but they should have just made a super heavyweight division and
They
left
probably should have, yeah.
200 to 200 and fucking 30 pounds heavyweight, and then made a super heavyweight. Just the name's gonna fuck with people, and it's more fucking divisions, and everybody's gonna bitch.
As the way it sounds, as it stands right now. So the weight limit for Bridgerweight is 224. Basically, you're saying Usyk is a Bridgerweight.
Yeah.
And Wilder's, if he doesn't work out, that's the difference. If Wilder doesn't work out, he is a 215 pound guy. You know what I'm saying? But like
15, 220,
and a guy like that can't make fucking cruiserweight. So it's like that's but like Recognize said, it's like he's already. I mean, he's a top 4 heavyweight. Why the hell should he go down to and establish a brand new division for what? I mean,
he'll be doing them a favor with his name there.
Yeah, if he was like a 6th or 7th ranked heavyweight, all right, then maybe.
Now, if they were going to give him a lot of money in return, and Wilder said, "Okay, that's fine." Okay, then I can understand that. But if they're just asking Wilder, "Hey, can you do us a favor, Wilder? Can you come down to 224 and make this division alive? We'll pay you the same shit." No, fuck off, get out of here.
It's just too much. It just doesn't make any sense to ask him to do that. You could put him as an opponent against AJ or Usyk
Exactly.
or,
These are
and that's
still
it's
big
a big
money
fight.
fights. Yeah, these are
Yes,
still big
yeah.
money fights.
You
He's
know,
not gonna.
actually,
He's not interested in that.
you guys actually know what's weird? I was just looking up the rankings right now, and for their WBC, for their cruiserweight, they actually got Badu Jack in there. I guess he moved up to cruiserweight.
Bottle Jack is a big boy. Yeah,
They got him in the rankings for 200 pounds.
yeah. He could. He probably walks around at 200 or
Yeah,
over. He's a big dude, so
Yeah.
I could see him going up there.
yeah, he does look big. Actually, that's true. He does
No,
look.
he's tall. He's got some height on him. I think he's about at least 6'2".
Older too. He's not trying to make that huge cut anymore to 75.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to. He's probably look. Badu Jack is in great shape. That's one, right? So it's muscle weight. So what are you asking him to do? You're asking him to burn muscle
Sweat his
at the
ass
age
off.
of 35 or whatever age he is. You know,
It's
he's probably
37.
37. Excuse
He's
me.
actually
Damn,
going to be
he's older
38
than I
on
thought.
Halloween. He's
So
turning
he's
38
older
on
than I
Halloween.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's in great shape for a man his age, obviously, because he's an athlete. Um, he's 6 feet. He's over 6 feet tall. And when he's at 200 pounds, he's probably in great shape. So imagine, he's 6'2", and he's 200 pounds. He's probably in great shape already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
You know what, though, man? You know what,
Hey,
though?
LT, what'd you think about the Shakur fight, man? Break it
You
down.
want my honest opinion, bro?
Of course.
It's for sure. All right, let's go.
Dígame.
Dímelo.
Bro, this guy bought himself out, bro. I bet fucking Herring like went into Las Vegas and like put all his fucking bag in against himself, bro, because he fought like, you know what I mean? He fought like he just came out yesterday, bro. You know what I mean? Like that ain't. Shakur has been getting the easy way, man.
Like you said,
People
He
allow
definitely made
the
easy work
fighters
of it for
allow him
sure.
to get off the ropes. Like they even step back for Shakur to get off the ropes and shit. Like Herring tried to box Shakur, and that's not the game plan, man. I don't know who the fuck was this tactician. And if it was a good tactician, bro, like we know Bomac is, and then lets me know, bro. This guy just, hey man, you know what? It's not like I'm a win, so fuck it. Let me throw a fight, get some bruises, sell them. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Yeah, man, that's basically what I saw, man. And if other thing, man, what I saw when like shit got real for a bit, right, just to like make it look convincing. Yeah, man, Shakur has no inside game. If he fucking sucks.
I disagree with that. He has some inside game. Um, yeah. So what do you?
I don't think you know inside game, bro.
No, he definitely had. He definitely showed some inside.
Nah, I
Jamel.
don't think so, man. No.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we watched two different fights. Recognize. Did you? Did you?
Nah,
Did
don't
you see?
bring recognize in this shit. It's just this is a
I
combo between.
thought.
Don't bring recognize in this. This is a
Hold on,
conversation
hold on.
between you and me.
I,
It's like, bro, you know what that looked like, Scalebender?
What?
He looked like he just tapped, like, hey, bro, you're in. You're next. Tap, tap. You know what I mean? Went for a tag team partner. Right? Recognize? Right?
You're the fucking
Right?
honey badger. You're going off like a honey
Right?
badger.
come on, man.
I mean,
Right?
LT.
Recognize.
It's
Tapped
too
him on the
much.
shoulder and recognize wakes up.
LT.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
LT.
Yeah.
Get him, Rare Bread. Get him. Get him.
LT.
Get him.
Ray, Ray,
I
handle
remember.
this shit, please.
I remember you.
Recognize you're in, bro. Come on.
No,
Get
no,
it.
no,
I
no.
mean, no, Skillbender, you're in, bro. Get him.
LT.
This is
You
a tag team shit.
LT. You picked Heron to win a fight, right?
Oh.
So I understand you're a little bit salty. He lost,
Oh.
God damn it,
but
LT. You didn't
but
disclose that,
Oh
my
shit.
brother.
he
How
did.
come you didn't lead
Oh
off with that,
shit,
LT? Put
Skillbender,
it
they
out.
got me, bro. You're next,
Well, hold
bro.
on
Tap
now.
out, tapping in,
Now I'm a
bro.
little
Go
bit
in, Skillbender, go in.
Now I'm a little
Damn,
bit
man. Rare Breed
discouraged
said
here.
you picked them to win, and you're
All right,
salty about it.
Right.
LT, you got to lead off with that before you go Honey
All,
Badger. Before you
all
go
right, all
off.
right, all right. Let
You
me
listen. I
okay.
did pick him. I
Let
did
me
pick him.
clear it. All
But
right, all right.
see, now I hit you with some
I
shit now.
picked
Now
him,
see,
bro. He fucking, bro.
Give the kid credit. He's good, man.
You know what, bro? Who in the right mind is gonna go and try to box a boxer, bro?
I mean, I don't think anything Jamel Herring was going to do that night was going to work against Shakur. It's a different level. You're
Bro,
going to need
just get in his fucking nose,
I
get
mean,
in into his fucking face, bust that motherfucker, throw some fucking elbows, do some fucking roly shit, bro. Get dirty on that bitch, bro.
it's easier said than done.
You don't need a good tactician for that shit, bro. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. He stood there, he stood there, gave Shakur all the time to think, all the time. You know, you don't let those motherfuckers think. You don't. No, but this guy did, you know. Let me sit in front of him. Let me sit in front of him. Let me throw a couple of jabs and shit and see how it goes. And oh shit, I'm getting caught. All right, this is not working, so let me continue doing it. You're right. Of course, bro.
I mean,
It doesn't take a rocket science
yeah.
that you're gonna get outboxed by a boxer. It's easy, bro. Just get in there, hit the balls, whatever the fuck you need to do to make that shit dirty, bro. Take a year off, whatever, bro. Just make that shit nasty. That's
He
all
was,
you needed to know. Like,
but he wasn't
you don't need a
LT.
super expert on combos and shit. Like, you don't need 3 more years to come back and fight Shakur. No, you just need to go there with a wrestling mentality. All right, let me see if I smother this motherfucker and maybe
pressure,
let's
pressure.
let me slow this motherfucker down. So let me hit him in the balls and okay, he's going to
He
the
was
He
ropes. Let
did.
me go
No, no,
with
no,
him
no,
and
no.
fuck
LT.
it and just wail away. But it's easy, but hey. But apparently, you guys
Jamel
saw
Herring
it like
did.
a master class. Like, fucking Shakur did the unbelievable. He boxed. He
Imagine being
boxed a
LT's bookie.
35-year-old that had been
Imagine
knocked
being
out
LT's
two
bookie and you got to
times or
hear
three
this shit.
times. Come
Yo,
on.
I
imagine
get
being
the
LT's
fuck
Imagine
out of
being
bookie.
here.
LT's bookie and see
Skellbender, are you ready, bro? You're in.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
not
you got to
Tap,
pick
I
up on
tap, I tap.
Tuesday. You got to pick up on Tuesday and you got to pay out on Wednesday. That's the way a bookie works. So when you go to pick up LT's money on Tuesday and he hands it to you, you have to endure this fucking
it.
oh hell no.
fucking yeah, there's a rampage as he's handing you the 200. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
Right.
LT, man. Listen, all right. This guy's got a list. He's got to pick up all these pickups. He's got all of his pickups. You got to pick up. And LT for 15 minutes is gonna fucking tirade on him. What the fuck
Right.
was that? What the fuck is he doing? Fucking hit him in the balls. 200.
LT's
It's
like, wait,
200
he's gonna make
LT.
a boxing bet. He's like, wait a second. If you're telling me he's gonna box, he's gonna obviously lose. So I can't pick him. Who
LT's
do I pick?
keys to victory.
Like LT, give me your money and tell me who you're gonna pick.
All right, LT. You
If he
lost.
comes in
Come
there to
on.
try
Give
to
me the
box
200 bucks.
or
It's
he's gonna
cash.
get beat up, I'm telling you what's gonna happen.
Man, you
LT's
know
got
what I would
the
tell the
200
bookie
clinched
if
in his
that was the
hand.
case? I would tell
LT's
him
got
double or
the.
nothing.
I know. But
Double
LT's
or
got that
nothing
money.
on the next
LT's got
fight,
the
motherfucker.
200. LT's got the 200 clinched in his fucking hand. I mean, like at a fucking knot. And he's just right before he puts it in his hand, for 15 minutes, he goes, "This motherfucker Herring, the fuck was he thinking?" I don't know, LT. 200. The thing is this, but LT, I think I hear LT. What he's saying is like he basically staverned up. I call it staverning up, which is when you just like go up into the
Yeah.
high guard and get teed off on.
Yeah.
But what LT is saying, I think, is right in that. I think that's why everybody's calling for Valdez because they want to see some pressure. They want to see how he handles pressure. You know what I mean? He can move when there's nobody to. That last fight, that Natashi fight, I can't remember the guy's name. Not
Nakatani.
Nakatani, but it wasn't Nakatani, but it was. Let's just call him.
Nagatilia, something like that.
Nakatilia, the kid from South
Africa.
Africa, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, South African guy,
Brazil.
apartheid guy. He can move when there's really no fucking. I mean, when there's no chance of catching him or cutting the ring off, and
Yeah.
he can obviously throw combinations when someone's just going to shell up and
Nakatali had more of a game plan than than fucking
bro.
Herring.
Bro,
Well, that
Nakatalia
was
will
probably
fuck
Herrick's
up
game plan, you
Shakur,
know.
bro.
I know. Just hear me out. But it's a
Go
short
ahead, bro.
notice fight. It's pandemic shit. Valdez will really come forward. He will actually come forward, which is really the
Scalbender.
only way to try to cut him off and pressure him. So yeah,
Scalbender.
in a fucked
So
up way, I understand LT. Go ahead,
so
Ribery.
I wish Valdez had your confidence because he obviously doesn't want to fight Shakur Stevens. He's been running for this man since 126.
Oh, I'm not saying it has to be Valdez. I'm not saying it has to
You
be Valdez. I'm just
you gonna
saying.
need uh you're
Okay.
Bro,
gonna need
All I'm
you're gonna
saying,
need
I will say, pump your brakes on going up to 35 and talking about moving up and fucking around with Tiafimo and fucking around with Loma and fucking around. That's not going to go well.
hmm
That's
Not
not.
right
It's just
now.
not.
Not right
It's not
now.
going to. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
if you can make
I
30, and I know it's going to be. I know it's hard to make 30. I mean, it's hard to make any of these weights when they're rehydrating that much. But as a young kid, he can make the weight. Make the weight as long as you possibly can. Don't move up for the hell of it. Go out like Kell Brook and Amir Khan. You dare to be great. You fucking get your orbital bone crushed in. So
hmm I think Shakur can handle himself in any of those guys at 135. Probably better than most of them, to be honest. I
I
would
mean,
definitely.
he could handle it, but would you do it for no reason? Would you do it for the shits and
He's
giggles?
gonna make that fight bigger. They're gonna
Yeah,
make those fights bigger than what it is right now.
yeah.
You're gonna Fernando Vargas's ass if you do that too soon. You know, what I mean, what? I don't understand it.
No, they don't do that no more, man. That you see back then.
Okay, so
No, no, I
that's my
agree with you.
point, though.
No, no, I agree with you. Well, those guys learned. They learned from the past. Remember, the same people that are developing boxers and putting them on the same channels. It's the same people in the same game. They learn from
Yeah,
Fernando Vargas, a couple of guys here and there.
a bunch of these
Sugar
guys.
Shane Mosley fighting a nobody and making him a somebody. Vernon Forrest. Not that he was a nobody skill wise, but in terms of popularity, nobody knew who Vernon Forrest was until he beat Shane Mosley. You know,
Yeah,
so these guys learn
Yeah.
from that. You know,
Okay, but some don't. Some
I wish
don't. You
they
know,
did it.
you got
I
Kell
wish they
Brook
did it.
that's
Yeah,
fucking suicidal. You know, going up to fight
right.
Triple G and shit because he didn't have to cut. You know, and Mikey goes up and fights Spence, and granted, Spence doesn't get him out of there. So hey, and I mean, you do nothing but encourage it. But then every once in a while, then you'll go back to getting Amir Khan, and he just gets fucking just sparked out like a fucking
The
like a
money
murder victim.
you see with these fighters, right? The way they train,
hmm
they're not afraid of nobody, like physically.
no,
Physically, So what happens is their advisors sit down with them and say, "Look, this is the long term plan and the big money." Now, if they were to switch it around, says no, the big money is short term, they would do it too. If they promote it, yeah, they would be like, okay, whatever.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying, like realistically, I'm not for any of this marinating shit. I mean, that's not what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like that's a fucking that's bullshit.
well, we
I'm
saw what
saying,
happened when you marinate,
and
right? You got fucking
yeah,
Spence and Porter.
marinate.
I mean
What
Spence and
marinate?
Crawford.
Pacquiao and Mayweather is fucking ridiculous already.
Yeah, that's
No,
another one.
no, people stop giving a shit. So the point is, like, I'm just saying, like, with regard to moving up, because 2 fights ago he shows you potential. He's always had the fucking potential.
hmm
It's just that you got to I mean, if you're Manny Pacquiao and you're fucking moving up divisions and sparking people at every division, all right, fine. You come up to 30 and you're fucking knocking everybody out. You want to go to 35 and still knocking people out? Well, move on. But I'm just saying, like,
I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat. It doesn't have to knock everybody out. You can just, as long as you win.
okay, but is that the way you want to fucking? I mean, really, the whole point of like walking around at 155 pounds and then fighting at 140 or fighting 15 pounds below your walking around weight,
hmm
probably fighting fucking 35 pounds below your natural athletic weight. All right, as we just talked about with Roy, is that you're giving yourself you're giving yourself every advantage you can. So why go to all the trouble if you're just going to move up to 35 for the hell of it when you can make 30? Now, here's my thing. It doesn't seem like he's having necessarily I know people said Bradley was talking about he might have had trouble making weight, but it doesn't show in the ring like you saw with Roy. Like there's no loss, there's no fatigue, there's no like he's not dry. He's got fucking shine on him.
Yeah,
He threw a million punches in that fight. You
yeah.
know, Lord knows. But again, you just be cognizant of the fact that you didn't fucking knock the guy down, and the guy wasn't throwing any punches back. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, come on, man, let's just be realistic. Uh, to go
Facts.
up to 35 for the hell of it would be like, I mean,
No, they'll do it. They're gonna move him. I think they're moving him exactly the way they feel is the best way to do. You know.
Look, if I was in Valdez corner, I wouldn't give him the fight until he gets in a real fight. Then I'll give him the fight.
What? What do you mean
that
a
is a
real
real
fight?
fight, though, man. Fuck that. You fucking put Valdez in there. If
That's not.
Valdez was gonna come forward, then
That makes it sound like you're scared of Valdez losing.
No, no, I'm saying if I was in his corner.
Uh,
if you were
so
advising Valdez,
Oh, you
I'm
mean
gonna be honest. I'm gonna
you
be honest. You see how many times okay, fuck that example. I will you want to see before you fight, like you want to see holes exposed on fucking Shakur,
mhm.
Oh,
and
I
you
get what you're
haven't
saying.
seen him
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
real fight. If I was in Valdez corner, I wouldn't take the fight until I see, you know what I mean, until I see what I want to
See
see.
some
I
type
want to
of.
see him in a real fight, and then I'll take him. Until then, why, man? Why would I? He's been having the easy way.
But I
You
think
mean
that
you're not?
if you're Reynoso, right, you can see some flaws in him now where he's younger.
Yeah, you better take him down because he's gonna get better.
That kid ain't gonna get better in what?
You better hope he doesn't get better.
oh, he's gonna get
And what,
better.
bro?
But
Fighting low opposition, he's gonna get better. Uh huh.
For
I'm
Right.
Aaron,
saying
not
And this is
Valdez got a
what
chin.
they want.
Valdez got a chin, right?
And if I and I was and I and if I was in Shakur's corner, I would totally want Valdez's fight because you want that name, right? Because that's the name that's gonna make you a star, right? That's why. Let me get a flat-footed Mexican, and I'm gonna become a star. So let me chase Valdez down.
okay.
Yeah.
So that the
I see
way.
Shakur's corner. I see how they want Shakur. I see how they see it on Shakur's way. Yeah. But if I'm in Valdez's corner, I want to see him until he gets in a real fight, and then I'll give him the fight. Until then,
So in other words, uh, you're not confident in if you're that Valdez, you're not confident you can beat this kid. That's what it sounds like right now because you haven't seen any like real weaknesses. So you're not confident that if he got in there with Shakur, he would be successful. Is that what you're saying?
um, Valdez, look, man. Styles make fights, and that's the style's gonna give problems to Valdez.
Yeah,
You're not. You guys
I
know that
agree with
shit.
it. Yeah, I
You
agree
know
with that.
that,
That's why
right?
Valdez doesn't fight.
Yeah,
He wants
I think
Tank.
Valdez wants Tank, right?
Yeah, because not
That's
only
the big.
that's a big
It's a
money
big
fight.
money fight. Yeah, it's a big money fight.
Shakur, he doesn't gain anything from that. He'll just probably just lose spectacularly, and he won't get paid uh, big money. So what's the
Against Tank.
no against Shakur? If he would lose, I think
Oh,
in my
okay.
opinion,
Let me
he
see.
would lose.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know
he
what
would
you mean.
lose pretty bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, because it's all about that money. Yeah, listen, I look. It's a part of reality when it
Yeah,
comes to the shit. So, if Valdez, if somebody's talking in his ear and saying,
uh
"Yo, Shakur is high risk, low reward," versus Tank, who's high risk, bigger
high reward.
reward. You know.
Bigger reward, exactly.
Yeah.
There's not a
Yeah,
bigger reward with Tank. That's ridiculous.
Bro,
You guys
to
really
be honest, bro,
who?
Tank is
Why
a
would there
bigger
be a
name than
bigger?
Shakur. No one knows who
Yeah.
the
What?
fuck Shakur is.
Pay per
Yeah,
view.
but
No,
hold
not
on.
even YouTube, bro. Not even YouTube. Go to his recent
Tank is
highlights.
popular.
It didn't even break a quarter of a mil.
Yeah,
It didn't even
Scalebenders.
break a quarter. And you know what, bro? Navarrete broke a quarter of a mil.
Yeah,
Broke a half a mil.
yeah. He's got the Mexican fans.
Highlights.
I
Yeah,
You
just
see, no, it's not that. I mean, if we're talking about, you know what I mean, if who has a name and who doesn't, they didn't even get the highlight reel from Shakur from that fight. How embarrassing is that?
yeah. It's
That
okay.
was his
We'll get
coming
to it.
out party, and did he really come out?
I thought he did.
I mean, he won
Ah,
the fight. Period. He won the
He
fight,
looked
but
good.
But look, if I'm Valdez, he
Yeah.
got a fucking chin, right? I mean, I don't know him that well as a fighter, but motherfucker's
Right.
got a hell of a chin, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
man. I don't see Shakur
All right.
knocking none of these guys out either.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. So let's talk about risk and reward. The reward is whatever Bob's gonna Top Rank's gonna pay to make that fight happen, and that's gonna be
Hmm.
dependent on what ESPN's gonna want pay to see that fight. The risk for Valdez is being outboxed. I
12
guess
rounds.
if the fight goes like you think, yeah, 12 round decision, right? It's making a guy run, making a guy trying to put him in like a Rigondeaux situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's hypothetically what it would be. So like he's going to give Shakur the pressure that we want to see him get.
Mhm.
He's not going to fucking. I mean, he might. Shakur has. I guess he's got power, but he did. I get once again he didn't knock down. He wobbled Herring one time and on a check hook off balance thing. But like, let's be real, man. He didn't fucking sit him down. He didn't. He never had him on Queer Street. So like,
Yep.
the risk
Here.
is it's low risk for Valdez. It's low risk for Shakur, I think, because he could. I don't think if he didn't want to engage, I don't. Well, you don't know if he can get cut off or not. That's the issue. And as far as Tank goes, they already told you they're not going to fight you. They already fucking said as much. They're staying in house. So why chase this bitch around? I mean, why fucking beg and
you guys are
try to make
you
a
guys
fight
are
that ain't going to
forgetting.
happen?
But Navarrete's manager said that they want Valdez's fight. I'm gonna be honest. For
They're
the
gonna make.
world, it's bigger than Shakur and Valdez right now.
Why can't they both happen?
I mean, no, they're the two best at 130, so they need to fight.
Yeah, I see that. But who's
Shakur
gonna
ain't
get more?
making
They're
130. I
probably
mean,
gonna get.
Tank ain't making 130 anyway, man. Forget it. That's gonna be a fucking.
Yeah,
They're just gonna.
Tank can't make 130 anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah, forget that fight. The fight's not gonna happen.
I don't know what they're doing with Tank. Um, Eller being,
They're trying to just make as much money off of him. That's all. That's
yeah.
all it is, man.
I like Tank the fighter, but I don't like the way they're moving him.
Me too. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think just let him fight, dude. Win, lose, or draw, he's gonna fucking give you a great fight, man.
Exactly.
Like those type of guys, you gotta kill them, bro.
Tank? Are you talking about Tank? Yeah.
I'm totally unimpressed
You
with
gotta
Tank,
kill
man.
him.
You said you're unimpressed with him?
Knockout artists.
Fucking man.
Well, not
Yeah,
the
they
way his
want. Yeah,
career.
they want a Valdez who's gonna walk straight forward and
Hmm.
and try to fucking dodge 75 lead uppercuts in a row until one lands. But I've seen that already. I've seen seen him pull Santa Cruz up and him do it.
Nah, man. Valdez and Santa Cruz are totally different styles, man.
Yeah.
I know that, but they need a guy who's gonna
And
come forward.
boxers,
You think
and
that
actually Valdez
look,
has
you think
power,
that
bro.
you think
Valdez
I'll
is
tell you what, Shakur Stevens, Tank wouldn't be able to touch Shakur Stevens.
no,
If
he
Shakur
won't.
Stevens wanted it that way, if he
Yeah.
wanted it that way, if he wanted to outbox him for 12 rounds, what the fuck could Tank do about it? If he
Tank
could
is
make
not
130.
Tank is not just a guy who comes forward though. He does have some skills, so he can.
Oh, he didn't come forward. He steps back and fucking counter uppercuts. Counter
Yeah.
uppercuts. Counter
He can walk.
uppercuts.
He can walk him down, and I think he can cut off a ring pretty well too.
You're not walking Shakur Stevenson down. You're not walking Lomachenko down. You're not walking those guys down. You better cut the fucking ring off and like you're gonna have to move to catch up with those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I, I'm sure Tank's got all the ability in the world, and I'm sure he's a tough motherfucker and all that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I love the lead uppercuts. I love the knockouts, but I don't want to see 20 missed uppercuts and then the 21st catches Santa Cruz in the chin. It's just,
Yeah.
and that's who they're looking for over there to fight him. You know,
Come forward, guys. Like
yeah, you'd be a fucking fool to do that. He's got power. He's got power,
you
no
think
doubt.
you think they're gonna make Tank like avoid slick guys like Haney or Shakur?
You know
Probably.
what, man? If this guy was the best guy, if this guy was the best guy at 135,
Hmm.
if he can, if he wants to fight at 135, if he was the best guy in the division, then it would be a discussion. How are we going to make this work? And he's like the
Hmm.
fucking fourth best guy in the division, man.
Tank? You think so?
At 35, I mean, he's not the clear front runner. I
So, okay,
yeah,
Devin, I can see you say that. Teofimo, okay, but
Loma and Tio are the best guys in the division still,
who's
and
third?
so
I say it's
I don't fucking
Loma,
know.
Tio, and Devin Haney right now.
You better
Tank
you better be
Tank is
top of the
probably
heap.
better than Tank is better than Ryan.
You better
Yeah,
be top of the heap if you're going to talk about I'm going to stay over here in house and you can come see us and you know what I mean, like you're going to make people jump through hoops to fight you. You're the fourth fucking. You're not the top in the division. Who are you?
I
Then
mean,
stay over there and
again,
fight, man. Stay over
I
there.
mean, again, that's Floyd and Ellerby. Tank, if Tank could pick, I bet you he'll fight all these guys.
I agree. That's not the point. I'm talking about who really matters and who's running his job is to fight, not to manage his career. The guys who are managing his career
Yeah,
are overvaluing what they got. There's really no way to. They haven't established any value yet, especially at 35. Wouldn't that last fight at 40? Wouldn't that last fight at 40 or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
40.
I think he's
Okay, so
fighting
man,
again
come
at
on,
40.
man, cut the
I think,
shit, man.
I think this fight with Rolly is at 42.
Yeah, it
Possibly.
probably is.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be like I'm not trying to like dismiss the kid, but who misses you, man? I mean, in other words, stay over there then. Fight Rolly Romero at 40.
Tank is
Guy
one of
even-
those guys. Uh, he's gonna do numbers regardless who he fights. 'Cause, I mean, you might not like it, but the casuals they do like Tank because he's a knockout guy. He's exciting.
Oh yeah. That's gonna. I mean, listen, when you knock dudes out, what's his record? 25, no,
24
24
knockouts.
knockouts. Yeah, so only
Yeah,
one fight went the distance. Guys are always gonna want to see you fight. He could build a bigger fan base if he's in more legacy fights. Guys that have a shot of beating him,
yeah.
like a Devin Haney. Shakur Stevens, guys within his bracket. What's his name? What the
Loma.
fuck's that guy's name? Excuse me, Loma, but the other one that they've been going at it for. Ryan Garcia. You know,
Yep.
Ryan Garcia. They've been talking shit to each other for a long time. I would like to see that fight happen.
Yep.
You see how Terrence Crawford got kind of hung out to not hung out to dry, but he was kind of stranded over there
Hmm.
with the welterweights as far as the welterweights go with Top Rank. He's kind of like I don't need you guys and you don't need me. Well, you guys need me. I don't need you.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? But like it winds up. It just winds up pissing everybody off,
Yeah.
and
Well,
and
you see, you see
it
how
winds up.
that's
It
that's
causes
for
static
Crawford.
between him and Bob Arum now. It's just
You
like
see
these
how
fucking.
Crawford really tried to make that fight with Porter now. So he did need them. He did need. Um,
Well, what I mean is
he
they need
needed.
each other. In other
Right.
words,
Right.
that
Absolutely. But
stalemate situation. But that's
dude, how
Terrence
can you?
Crawford. He's arguably the best in the
How can
division.
you be in the business of boxing and not need other fighters? Like you
Okay,
definitely need them.
Too
okay,
much
but
pride.
No,
I
I'm not
say
going at you.
need.
I'm not going at you. I'm saying this idea when people say you take that I would take any boxer serious that says, "Well, I don't need that guy." Of course, you need that guy.
Yeah, he never even really said that either. It's the same situation. He would fight any of them. He's just it happens to wind up on a track where he's over there at Top Rank. Now, the difference though is two things. Number one, he's arguably the best in the division, right? It's him and Spence, arguably the best in the division. But like, if Sean Porter did that, or if Ugas did that, let's just say Ugas just said, you know what, I'm fucking fighting in house. I'm over here now. Just pick something. Just make up a fictitious like organization, right? I'm just gonna fight over here.
Mhm.
You know what I mean. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna bring this guy up from 40. I'm gonna bring this guy up from all the way from 35. Jump him two weight classes up. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but dude, you're not even in the fucking. You're not even like established as the kingpin yet. I mean, you're not even in the discussion. So like, fuck cares if you stay over there. That's what's gonna wind up happening.
yeah. No, I
Uh,
agree, dude. They're not these fighters.
Berlanga knocked everybody out too. It gets boring. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right,
And look what's happening now to Berlanga. You get what I'm saying?
it's kind of like, yeah,
Mhm.
Berlanga, he looked like he hit a bump in the road, right?
I think Tank is a little bit better. Is a way more dimensions than Berlanga. Just off the eye test though.
Well, look,
That's the problem.
take into consideration that Tank is a little bit more experienced than Berlanga, right?
Sure.
And Berlanga does do things pretty good. He has a different variety of punches. He just
Yeah.
does it at a predictable pace, right? Let's be honest. That's what's going on here. These guys know what he's gonna do. Like after 3 or 4 rounds, they kind of know exactly what he's gonna do.
But Belonga's a bad example. He's a prospect. I really
Yeah, he's a
shouldn't.
prospect. Yeah, but
Tank's no spring chicken anymore. But
no,
like the point
Tank
is
is
though
in
that
the
Belonga he
top
can get
contender champions side.
yeah that's the problem. But the point is a guy like Belonga get comfortable fucking icing people in one round, making too easy a work of it, and he don't develop anything else. He don't want to develop anything else. You know what I mean? So like if Tank's telling you that I'm going to stay over here and I'm going to fight Romero, I'm going to fight Santa Cruz. I hate to keep bragging on Santa Cruz, but man,
Straight
he's
shot.
fucking coming up 2 weight classes and then walking straight forward at him. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? You know, but that's Santa Cruz, right?
That's how you
It's
fight.
just that's how he fights, and they know that, right? So I'm just saying, there's only so much I'd be chasing or begging or wishing, and you want to stay over there, stay over there. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, if Ugas did that, it's a better example. Ugas is established, and he's so if all of a sudden he just wants to isolate himself, it's like, all right, dude. I mean, it's not like I,
If all
I
these
don't know. It's just
guys, if all these guys end up being Hall of Famers, and let's say one of them like wants through like at least three or four of them, that would be a hell of a resume.
Yeah,
I don't.
these guys turn out to be, what they're being hyped up to be, and one of those guys comes
Yeah.
out like the
Yeah.
better of all of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. Because even when you know, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Tommy Hearns,
Hmm.
Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, those guys they were basically the same, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, like one got more win. Okay, Tommy Hearns knocked out Roberto Duran.
Yep.
Roberto Duran Butch beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard knocked out Tommy Hearns in their first fight. I'm talking about all one fight, their first fights, right?
Yeah.
We all know that some of these guys had more than one fight.
Yeah.
So, right, Roberto Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard beat Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns knocked out Roberto Duran. Marvin Hagler knocks out Tommy Hearns. Sugar Ray Leonard gets a 12-round decision
Yeah.
against Duran. Basically, you see what I'm saying? All these guys are on the same level. Like,
Yeah.
if you just had to do a one-off on them, these guys were basically the same fighters. So, if one guy wins, beating all these guys, all those dudes, they're obviously going to be in tough fights where nobody really blows each other out like that.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And they all got clipped. It's just that no one gives a shit.
Yeah,
It
no,
didn't make a difference in their Hall of Fame balloting. I don't vote on this shit. I don't care if they get in or don't.
yeah,
And ultimately, they can't hang their damn career on Hall of Fame or not. You know what I mean? It's just like whatever. I'm just saying those guys. Those guys all did their own. They were all great,
Yeah.
and you don't know any of their records. I don't know any of their fucking records. I have no
not off
idea
the
what their
top of
records
my
were.
head. I don't know their
I
record.
mean, no.
Yeah.
If I told you that Duran had 10 losses, would it fucking matter to you? I mean, the
Yeah, it
motherfucker
wouldn't
went up
matter.
to
I wouldn't care if you have the
68.
guy
Did
had
you
over
see I ran
100
Barkley?
fights.
Yeah. Did you see I ran Barkley? You fucking idiot. So
Did
it's
you
like,
see? Did you see his win over Esteban de Jesus? Did you see?
yeah, dude.
Did you see when he knocked out Ken Buchanan? I mean, there's so many fights. Yeah.
I'm
I don't,
just, just it they did what they were going to do without like steering clear of each other
yeah.
and outwardly saying that, outwardly just saying like just making a statement, hey, we're just going to do this over here. It's I mean, I'm not saying that all the fights have to happen, I mean, if they don't happen, they don't, but a lot of shit, it's a short career, man.
Exactly.
Errol
It's
Spence
a
didn't know he was
short
going to get in that
career
car.
at the very top of these guys' prime. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
very
what I'm
short.
saying.
Man. Yeah.
It's a short window here,
It's a
so it's
short
like
window. Yeah.
you wreck a Ferrari and get all fucked up and you're in the hospital. That changes things. I mean, you should have. It makes you. I'm saying there's no time. There's no reason to talk about waiting or There's responsibly moving a guy up, yeah, but there's not like this whole I'm gonna fight over here in house on a pay per view. To me, it seems like a fucking waste of time. You know,
Yeah.
Spence might not be the same anymore, man. I can't imagine he is the same. I just can't imagine, right?
he
Like
can't be the
after
same, but he's young enough to
can't.
where it's like
Yeah, he's young enough and strong enough that he can, all that stuff. He can still beat Danny Garcia, right?
Yeah.
But can he beat like guys who really trying to beat him? You know, they got a
Right.
couple of game plans.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
yeah, fight him already, man. Win or lose, just do it and then move on. Because I mean, it's not
Can
gonna.
he be in the same type of dogfight that he was in against Sean Porter after that? That's the question. Can he be in that kind of dogfight and still come out, you know, pretty good and win the fight?
Yeah. Hella
That's what I'm
fight.
saying about these delays, man. It's like, well, like Tio's gonna move right up to 140. My last fight at 35 after Loma, and then for $6 million though, you're gonna make 135 pounds again. But then
I'm not sold on
when $6 million turns out to be a fucking
Teofimo.
pipe dream, when 6 million turns out to be a fucking could have been my crazy cousin bidding on it. That's about how much money they got to back it up. They can't find the money, and they're fucking pushing off dates left and right. Now we're a year later, and you're gonna make 35 a year after you said that was the last fight. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can make the fucking weight if you want to. Don't run
Yo,
off so quick.
Teofimo,
Where are you running off
Teofimo,
to, man?
Teofimo. This is what like his fanatics. Now, I'm not saying if you're a fan of him, that's different, and you're fair. That's cool. I'm talking about those fanboys. What they don't want to admit is he's still on that questionable stage. Like his
Yep.
victory against Lomachenko wasn't all that great. What did he do that was spectacular? It was more of what Lomachenko
Loma
didn't
didn't
do
do.
in the first half. Okay,
Yeah.
he knocked out Comey. Props to that. Comey's a strong 135 pounder. That's his shining moment as a in his career. I'm talking about the actual action. Now we know beating Lomachenko is a career changer, but let's face it, like he doesn't have compared Teofimo to Devin Haney. I'm like, yes, you could. Absolutely, you could. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, give me his win like Lomachenko. I was like, dude, I mean, go look at the fight, first of all. And second of all, you got to understand how this whole thing works. Lomachenko does not fight at the zone. Okay. So the easier fight, the more logical fight to make was Tio versus Lomachenko. But outside of that, I guess you can compare Devin Haney to Teofimo. I just don't like this. Well, he's way above them, and if I had to predict, he's gonna knock him out. Like, actually, I think he gets outboxed if he don't knock out Devin Haney. If he don't stop Devin Haney, he ain't beating Haney on points. Not in a real, how you really judge fights. It's not gonna happen.
Right.
I'm willing to put money on that. Devin Haney, I will give him a good shot of knocking him out. Yes. But if he don't, he's not beating him in a 12-round fight.
Also, he's not going to try to walk down Teofimo like he did with Linares. That's why he got clipped in the first place. He was trying to, I guess, prove
Dude,
to
he
the
was
haters
just doing
that
his thing. That's all it was. He was doing his thing. He got caught with a shot by a guy who's pretty good.
yeah,
Like I get it. He's older, and he's lost fights. But Linares got nice. He's got hands, bro. And the fact that he whitewashed him for the first 9 rounds or whatever it was, like, I don't understand how you cannot see the level of skills the guy has. I can't understand that.
Who, Haney?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
He
it's the same thing with
whitewashed
Shakur. That's why they're
Linares.
asking for Valdez now because they want to see somebody come forward on him. That's the problem. Is that
He lost the last
you
3
got
rounds, right? What was it? The last 3 rounds of the fight? He lost the last 3 rounds. Linares. Linares won the last 3 rounds against Devin Haney, but before that, it was a shutout.
I'll say the last 2.
Pretty much the last 2.
It was a shutout.
Okay, but
I think
he was
he won the
dude. He was
4th
blanking
round.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he blanked him for like
He was
fucking
washing him.
first nine
He was
rounds.
washing
Yeah,
him.
for the first
Yeah,
nine
he was
rounds.
he was washing him. But that's the problem is that he's not getting him out of there. It's the whole
Yeah, and
power
I
thing again.
agree.
Like the combos are there, the
That is a
power,
problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if
no, I
guy
agree
if a
with
guy's
that.
going to keep coming forward and pressuring you, you're
Eventually.
going to it's a lot of volume you're throwing, and you're opening up when you're throwing it. So it's like, well,
Well,
it's
I
like
mean,
Joel Gonzalez came forward against Navarrete because that's the what the fuck you do. You're going to
yeah,
take punishment doing it, but you better come forward. Don't stand at range. Don't lay
yeah,
on the ropes like Herring and let Shakur throw combos on you. Don't stand there and let Navarrete be at range so he can hit you with some crazy shit from some crazy angles. You better just come forward. That's the only thing to do. And so the problem with Haney is like that was his problem in that fight, and and,
yeah.
and he wound up getting
Well,
getting caught up to.
Yeah,
he might not necessarily need like concussive power or a lot of power, but just something that will, keep the guys respect, keep the
yeah,
respect. Or so I don't know if he
yeah.
has that either, though. I think Shakur has that. Shakur
No,
has some pop.
I think Devin Haney does have. You're not gonna walk in on him. He's a good
Yeah.
boxer. He'll time you, and you'll
Okay.
find yourself on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not knocking guys out when he's.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say that. Okay, obviously his power is not Teofimo's power, right? With one
No.
punch, I'm talking about just with one punch.
Yeah.
It's not on that level. Fine, but name me one thing that Teofimo does as an overall boxer besides the power, which is very important, and that's why I
Yeah.
say he would have a good chance to knock him out.
Yeah.
But name me anything else he does better than Devin Haney.
Nothing. Not that I can think of.
No, there's really nothing. Yeah,
Probably the best jab in boxing. At least that's what even Jimmy says that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got a very good jab. He's
Yeah.
a very good boxer, and I think that the only thing that's missing from him is power, bro. That's it, power.
Potentially a chair, which is really, really important, but we'll see about that.
But then again, I don't even know if that's even
Yeah.
a power thing. It could be something else.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just styles make fights, but you got to have the levels too.
Exactly.
So you can have like a come forward guy. I'm not ragging on Tank, but I got to say, you can have a guy that comes forward. The style makes that fight, or you could have a guy coming after Lomachenko. You could have you know, uh, I don't know. You could have like who was this kid they fought? This white kid from Jersey, Sosa. No, who would he fight it? Who would he fight? This white kid. He was like rags to riches. He's a construction worker
Joe
type of
Smith.
dude.
Joe Smith.
Nah, Lomachenko fought this guy I'm talking about.
Wait. Who are you talking
Sosa
about?
was the last name, no?
Sosa. Jason Sosa.
Yeah, a real tough fucking motherfucker that's gonna come forward and fucking try to get rough with you and walk you down and all that. But like the level wasn't there. The style matchup was there, but the levels weren't there. You see that? Like the levels weren't there. Like
Mhm.
it what? So yeah, you know, you can have Linares. The level wasn't quite there. You want to see Tio and Haney. You don't want to see Linares and Laney. You want to see Tio and Laney. You want to
Yeah.
see and Haney. You want to see you know you want to see the styles match up, but you also want to see the fucking levels. Top versus top. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what I'm saying. Those guys you were describing before, Duran and Sugar Ray, they all had their own styles. You know what I mean? They all really
Yeah,
did have their own separate styles, but they fought and they fought. They were the top. Who comes forward like Duran? I mean, who fucking pressures like Duran, and who boxes like Sugar Ray? That's why that
Right.
fight was great. You know what I'm saying?
that first fight was good.
It was
It was
good.
a fucking
You know,
excellent fight. Sugar Ray
yeah.
lost, but he didn't. Sometimes I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was like, damn, I
Mhm.
thought Sugar Ray got blown out. It's like Sugar Ray went 15 rounds with him and won about
Holy shit! I forgot it's
six or
15 rounds.
seven. Yeah, it's 15 rounds. So he won about 6 or 7 rounds, man. Maybe
Yeah.
six. You know,
I think he was trying to prove that he's not just some pretty boy dancer. He could get in there and bang with the
he
tough
proved
type
it.
anyway.
He proved it that night for sure. He lost, but
Yeah.
Proved it. Remember, he
It's
was young.
fatiguing. It's fatiguing to fucking move that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's like. I mean, it's hard to stay away from a guy like Duran
Yeah.
and on your toes and punch. So I don't know about he sat down he sat down eventually and started trading, but like it's almost like you have to. I guarantee Haney didn't want to sit down there and trade with Linares in the 11th round. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That wasn't his fucking prime fucking motive. That wasn't the game plan. But
Right.
it's like you're trying to keep him honest. You're trying to keep him honest. But I'm not going to let this guy chase me,
Yeah.
hawk me down, and he's standing in the middle of the ring and I'm circling like a maniac. He's taking way less steps than me. He's being way more efficient,
I like
and
this counter from
I'm
93
working my
Ounce.
ass off.
He
Go
said
ahead.
Devin would have to box masterfully on the back foot against Tio. Any miscalculation or lapse in concentration or defense could be fatal. This is true. This is why I said he has a great puncher's chance, but some Tio fans take that as a knock towards him. I'm talking about boxing from observation. So
Yeah.
that's all it is. Devin Haney looks like the better boxer. That doesn't mean he wins the fight. I'm not saying I'm saying that I think looking at it, the only shot that Tio would have,
Also,
the
also,
better shot that he has would be to knock him out, right? Like that's the
yeah,
better shot, is to
And
true.
knock him
Devin's
out.
got to keep his gas too and do it for all 12 rounds. It's concentration, miscalculations, and it's defense, but
Yep.
that's all fatigue. That's all affected by fatigue too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like Recognize said he was piecing them up 9 straight rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand speed, combinations, range, the whole nine. And
Yeah.
like if Herring had any type of gas, like any type of effort, like you said, in the 10th round, he wasn't going to do nothing to Shakur. He wasn't going to do
No.
anything. But that style is predicated on keeping that up. And yeah, Tio's not a fucking going to get on his toes. You know what I mean? He's going to. You saw the first half of the Lomachenko fight. When Lomachenko was circling in the wrong direction for the first 6 rounds,
He dropped him.
Tio didn't fucking like. It's not as if he like triple G style cut off the ring over there. You know what I mean? And like got in front. He
Yeah.
he threw some right hands to the body.
Yeah.
It, just as Loma was doing laps, he won those rounds. He won that fight. But the way it's not like he cut the ring off and cornered him up. Lomachenko came to him for the action to happen. Lomachenko came to him.
And was
You know what I
piecing
mean?
him up. And Lomachenko was
And was
actually
getting hit too. Yeah, it was getting hit
Yeah.
too. He's taking shots. The
Yeah,
12th
of
round, he
course.
walked straight in a straight line right at him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like suicidal fucking maniac.
He went. Yeah.
So
No. He went kamikaze on him. He just said, "Fuck
yeah,
it."
there was no fucking angles
I
at
know
all.
I
It was
gotta knock him.
straightforward.
I gotta knock this dude out. You know.
Yeah.
And I still think he hurt Teofimo more in that round than Tio hurt than the other way around.
Yeah. What punch in the 12th round did Tio not land on Loma? Loma came straight on into every fucking punch that Tio
Yeah.
wanted to throw. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So all this power, all this one shot power. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
there was no.
listen, to be fair, like the dude is in the 12th round, right? Like we know that his power is not going to be there, and I get what you're saying. That's why I say, if you just match up Devin Haney and Teofimo, you got a pretty even fight. You got one guy who's the better boxer, Devin, and the other guy who has more power.
Also, yeah. Also, look at their energy towards each other. One guy seems to want to fight way more than the other guy, from what I'm saying.
Let me
So,
tell you something. You want to know something about that fight?
yeah.
That whole situation.
Yeah.
Teofimo's using Devin Haney.
Yep.
He's using him. There's no real. That whole situation is disingenuous.
Yep.
He's just okay. He can't make weight anymore when it comes to Lomachenko, but he's gonna fight Devin Haney
You
at
see,
135. Does that
you
make sense?
see.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying, man. Just he barely wanted to touch those belts after he beat Lomachenko. He didn't even want to hold them up. It's like he didn't want to touch. Like, you ever shoot dice with somebody who like wins a big pot and then fucking hauls ass?
Yep.
Like, or you're playing cards. You know what I mean? Like we're playing all night. and this
Yeah.
guy goes deep into a pot, fucking gets a hand, and then now he's got to go. It's like, where the fuck you going, man? Like, you just
Yeah, I'll be
what
right
are
back,
you
man.
doing? Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. It just takes all. You know what I mean? Like, all right, dude. I mean, it don't make a difference, but all I'm saying is like these guys have known each other probably their whole lives. They grew up with each other, so there's
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what they say to each other after the fight. It was fucking retarded. The whole thing was like a stage. It was gimmicky. Um, I feel bad for Tiafimo in some ways. He's 22 years old. He didn't know shit. He really didn't
24.
know shit. 24.
24.
He doesn't know jack shit. And this whole exercise, this whole Triller purse bid thing has just been a fucking exercise. It's been a waste of time.
They
It's a
play
waste of.
themselves. Let's be honest, man.
It's a
They
year out
play
of his career.
themselves.
He took a
Yeah.
year out of his career. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That Ferrari accident thing is an example. Shit can happen.
Look,
So
Yeah.
I don't
you,
think he's serious about that, man. I don't think he's serious about fighting Devin Haney. I don't
he'll
think
fight
he's
him. He'll fight him. But the point is, like, look at.
how. How's he gonna fight him?
I recognize what I'm saying is, look at what you're a boxer. You're working your ass off to box.
Yeah.
You're winning. You're trying to fight your ass off. You're doing your job. Seems like I don't need to see you jaw jacking and all this bullshit. I don't need to see any of that nonsense. Now, your manager though, I don't know what kind of fucking. He's gonna lose fucking money or break even dollar for dollar on this fight when if he fights Cambosis when he fights him. You realize he's gonna wind up making the same fucking money the Top Rank was gonna pay him.
I
I
know.
want you to fucking let that sink in.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So look,
And if you
if you
factor in
see
your
that,
time, if you factor in a year of your
the fight's gonna
career,
be on
which
the
has got to be
zone,
worth
right?
something,
The fight's gonna be on the zone.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so now are they gonna work something out where after this fight he's gonna fight Devin Haney at 135 pounds? But remember,
No,
you
no,
still got Bob Arum in the game. You
no,
still
no.
got him.
That's not gonna happen on the zone.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
not
He's
the way
full
it
of
works.
shit. What I'm saying is, look, Devin Haney, he took it as okay. There's gonna be a confrontation. Let's do it. Teofimo tried to draw attention away from other stuff that is going on. That's the reason he did that whole, just basically shouting match, right? That they had. Devin
Yeah.
Haney, Devin Haney looked more genuine. Like, oh, are you serious? We're gonna fight. Let's do it. Where this guy's like, dude, you're ducking me. You're this. You're that. You're that. It's just like theater. So they can talk about
Cheesy theater.
right. So we can talk about other things besides um, my obligations with Camboso and a possible rematch for Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, right? But if you really listen to his words, you're like, wait a second, you want to fight Devin Haney? Devin Haney is a lightweight champion. He's
Yeah.
a lightweight fighter. You just said you having problems making lightweight. So how is this fight gonna happen? This guy's full of shit. He has no intentions of fighting Devin Haney, Lomachenko,
It's
whoever.
Eddie Hearn, man. Eddie Hearn. If you have an event, you want to promote the next event off of this one. This was the whole fucking pissing match with Top Rank and Crawford. They were trying to get him to. They were trying to get him to sign. I can't remember which fight. Maybe it was Porter, and they wanted to announce it at the Lomachenko Tiafimo fight. They wanted to make that announcement at that fight while everybody's watching. And they fucked around and dragged their feet with the contract, and the contract did not get signed, so they couldn't announce it. So that's what Aaron. That was the whole friction that started this whole fucking. You know, that fucking pissed Aaron off because that's like advertisement where all eyes are on the fight right now. Everybody's watching this fight. Why not? So Hearn wanted to do that since Tiafimo was going to fight on the zone against Cambosis. He wanted to start some have some kind of friction going on at the DAZN event. But the problem is that the event sucked. The main event blew. Mikey Garcia's fight was trash, and they waited till 20 minutes after the main event. While there was still a crowd there of about 20 people, for some reason, I never seen a fucking 20 people hang out after a fight like that for shits and giggles of it. Right behind where Tiafimo and Haney were face to face with each other. So it was just fucking hokey. You know what I'm saying? Nobody saw it. Nobody cares. But I'm just saying in the big picture. If you look back, if Tio looks back on this last year, year and a month, 11 months, it's cost him. He's making no fight. He got no fights. He's
Yep.
chasing around some pipe dream of a fucking bid that was fucking absurd on its face. And you know, at the end of the day, he's going to make the same money he would have made a year ago, and he got married and had a kid. So he's like fucking lighting money on fire left and right. Is what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. But he don't know no better. He's got a manager for this. But Bob Arum was grinning the whole time. You know, when the bid came in, he was mad at Hearn. He was mad at Hearn because really Hearn, with Hearn's bid, he just basically matched Top Rank. When the split $3.5 million, when you split it 65-35, that basically works out to 1.8 million for Tio, and Tio's got to pay Bob his 20%. Comes back down to 1.2. So it's kind of like Bob was more pissed off with Eddie Hearn than he was with fucking Triller. You know what I mean? He's grinning at Triller because you want to pay me 800,000 to sit here to wait. Fucking do it. Have at it. But
Yeah.
it's been a big exercise, and hopefully he just gets on with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Tio seems like I don't know. Where's the competitiveness? Like, you got a guy basically saying that I fought you injured. Like, wouldn't like the competitor in you like want to prove like that fight, that win wasn't a fluke? You know what I mean? Like, you want to come back and beat the guy more convincingly, like show you that you are that guy. But I don't know. It is what it
He
is.
might he might fight him again. He just wants to do it at 40
Yeah,
for an advantage. And you know what? I don't even know. Loma might be fucking crazy enough to fucking do it.
he
He
would.
might get on the same shit that Usyk got on to fucking put on 20 pounds and still have the fucking speed and everything else. Matter of fact, that's what they should do. Put him on the same vitamins as they put Usyk on. You know what? Go Pacquiao on his ass. Come in
Yeah,
looking like a damn fucking bodybuilder. And you know what? He's not stupid enough. He's competitive enough to do it, Loma. That's a thing.
he's very competitive. Shakur mentioned that when he spoke.
They're
Um,
telling him to go down. You know, Tio's like he should go down to 130. What the fuck do you care if he goes down to 130 or not? Fuck you, give a
yeah,
shit. They're asking for the rematch, and he goes, he needs to go down to 130. Well, okay, all right. Are you his manager now? Are you Egis Klimas? Fuck you, give a shit if he goes to 130.
no, he probably sees what you guys saw. He figured it out late in those. Well, I don't know if he figured it out. He just finally decided to, fight him.
He won the fight, but
Yeah,
that check's been fucking deposited already. He got paid that night.
right.
That's fucking 11 months ago, man. You know what I mean? Like he isn't. He's not like doing the long term math type of thing, you know. And his dad sure as hell not. And facing off and talking shit to Haney doesn't pay you anything. You don't get paid for that.
Nope. We'll we'll see.
I mean, I can't take a year off of work, man. Fucking be fucking flat on my ass.
Exactly.
Well, I'm tell you this, boys. I'm gonna fucking hit the rack, get up at
Okay.
6 and go into work like a fucking daisy tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna look. My eyes are gonna look like a coyote. I'm gonna be fucking
What time
drinking
is it?
coffee to 20 till 4.
Jeez.
I'm gonna be a peach tomorrow.
You said it's 4 a.m. where you're at right now.
Yeah, East Coast.
In other words, you're not going to sleep.
I'm gonna go take a shower and take a nappy.
Okay. All right, bro.
All right, y'all take it easy. Recognize the Matrix. I'm ashamed of you still, but I'll catch y'all on the next one, man.
All right.
Peace.
Yo, you guys still there?
Yeah, he what's his name?
He dropped out.
Yeah, he's got work like in 2 hours.
All right, man. I'm gonna drop off, man. But thanks for coming on, Red Breed, and hanging out with us through the whole, basically through the whole thing. I want to say salute to the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Salute to everybody that came on.
All right, bro.
Talk to you, man.